When you were a kid in the 80s, you didn't always understand why your parents rented certain movies from the video store. Sure, you laughed at the pratfalls, the goofy faces, the cowboy birthday party chaos. But a lot of that humor just went right over your head. But as an adult, you go back and watch those same movies and suddenly everything clicks. You understand the jokes, the stress, the disappointments, the midlife crisis. And then it hits you. Oh, that's why mom and dad were laughing so hard back then. And with that horrifying epiphany comes another. Your parents were probably just one bad Little League game away from a full-on Steve Martin-style breakdown, and they almost certainly had some things hidden in their nightstands you can now never unknow about. On this episode, we're talking Parenthood, Ron Howard's heartfelt comedy about the beautiful disaster that is family life. It's time to revisit the Buckmans and see if this 80s classic still holds up, or if it just triggers a lifetime of repressed memories about your own stupid family. We'll get into it right now on the Regular Guy Movie Show.
Lights go down, let's hit play. Regular guys got something to say. The Regular Guy Movie Show, talking flicks. Here we go!
Welcome back to the Regular Guy Movie Show, where three dudes crack open some beers and revisit the movies from our youth to see if they're still great or if they should have been slipped into a Back to the Future VHS case, shoved in a brown paper bag, and hidden in the back of a closet. I'm Seth, and joining me as always on this booze-fueled cinematic adventure are two of my favorite peoples in the whole wide world, my co-hosts, Justin and Brian. Gentlemen, are you ready to bust out your electric ear cleaners and get into it?
As long as I don't mistake a vibrator for a flashlight, I think I'm ready to go.
I'm just buzzing ready. I'm buzzing. Let's do this.
Well, before we get into the nuts and bolts of this movie, let's take a moment to talk about what we are drinking tonight.
Yes. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, so as we talked about in our last grab bag episode, that we try as best we can to match the beers we drink to the movies we watch.
Mm-hmm.
And because Parenthood is allegedly set in our hometown of St. Louis, Missouri, we thought it would only be appropriate to enjoy a few St. Louis brews as we record this podcast.
And which St. Louis brews did we go with tonight?
Well, we are starting things off with Schlafly's Crisp IPA.
Schlafly's a great local brewer.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, they've got lots of good stuff.
They do.
A wide variety.
They do. Like the Schlafly Pale. That's a staple.
My favorite they've ever had was the Double Bean Blonde.
Oh, that was sexy.
Oh,
that
so
was.
good.
That was
good.
a good one.
Not had that in quite a while, though.
No, I haven't. It's a bit of a mind trip.
It definitely is.
Yeah, it doesn't taste how it looks.
Right.
But it's delightful.
All right. And then we've got a couple others from St. Louis breweries. We have Civil Life, their American Brown Ale.
Oh, solid beer.
Classic.
And brown ale is probably my favorite style of all the beer styles.
And the most underrated.
It really is. And probably part of it, and when we used to brew beer, one of the challenges of making a brown ale is that no one really knew how to judge it.
Right.
Like there was no clear characteristics to look for.
Oh, I love the malty flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, dark beer is where roasted flavor lives.
Mm-hmm.
And
For sure.
if you want to get that kind of flavor, you got to go a little bit dark. But brown is nice and light still. It's refreshing.
But some people are intimidated by a brown beer.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they instantly think stout.
Right.
And it's nothing like a stout.
It's like that commercial where that guy goes, have a dark beer. Dark beers aren't scary. They're not scary.
They're fantastic.
And if nothing else, this does break us up of a trend we've become a little bit aware of, that we've probably been a little bit heavy on the IPAs.
Yeah.
So
mean,
at least one of the beers
yeah.
we're drinking tonight is not an IPA.
True.
Our third beer. This was a longer movie, so we figured we need to be stocked on libation.
We gonna get lit.
Is Citywide, which is our American Pale Ale
Yep.
by Four Hands Brewing.
That
Yeah.
one goes down easy.
That's a classic
That's a good
too.
beer.
Yeah, it's very, very good, very clean.
Yep. We have a bevy of good brewers here in the St. Louis area.
We really do.
You know, and a lot
It's
of people
an
want
embarrassment of riches.
yeah, a lot of people want to think, oh, St. Louis, Budweiser, but there's so much more out there locally. And they all represent, and they do a great job.
All right, tonight we are representing the STL with our taste buds.
Yes.
All right. So now then, gentlemen, let's get back into the movie we're talking about tonight, talking Parenthood. What was your first experiences with this movie? Brian, you want to kick it off?
Well, it was obviously a rental from the parents, and they wanted to watch it. We didn't see it at a movie theater. We saw this as a rental. I think I was freshman or sophomore in high school. I sat and watched with them. They laughed a little bit harder than I did. I still thought it was. I still thought it was a very entertaining movie when I was of that age, probably 14, 15. And I thought it was a good movie then. And I got to say, I really enjoyed my rewatch. I thought having a different perspective of watching this now as a parent gave it more breadth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was exciting. Yeah, it was a fun watch.
Justin?
For me, I can't nail down an exact age. I put it somewhere between 8 and 10 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've seen this
You've
one.
seen the movie.
I've seen this one so many times.
Oh.
So many times.
Red Letter Day.
I know. Brace yourselves. This is weird. I know it's weird, guys.
The guy didn't see RoboCop, but he saw Parenthood, and it's not a rom-com.
Right, exactly. I mean, could you? No, I don't know.
It's close.
All right, so somewhere between 8 and 10 years old, VHS as well, probably laying on my parents' living room floor.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, how about you, Seth?
Same. Definitely saw this when I was a kid. Parents rented it. Wouldn't have been my choice. But you live in a house, and back in the 80s, you had like one TV and one VCR. And so if your parents said, this is what we're watching, God damn it, that's what you were watching. The weird thing is, I don't know that I've watched it since that time. And so I may have been like 11 years old when we rented this.
Mm-hmm.
What was weird, though, watching this now at 46, just how much of this movie was still fresh in my mind. It really stuck with me.
It lives there, I think.
You remembered a lot of the movie then.
I really did. And it's weird because there's times like I will watch a movie that I've watched 20, 30 times before, and I'll watch it like, oh, I forgot that was there. I didn't really feel like I had forgotten anything that was in this movie. It was all still fresh in my mind.
And familiar.
Yeah. And very familiar. But also the difference being is that now my perspective had changed.
Sure.
And so now I was seeing this movie actually with a full understanding of everything that was going on.
Right.
And a full understanding of why all the things were funny.
I think that's one of the themes that we'll all get into tonight is talking about the different perspective watching it as a parent versus watching it when we were not a parent.
Right. Yeah. Makes a big difference.
It does.
I mean, there was really, when you're a kid, the diarrhea song.
Right.
Oh,
that's a classic.
Sure,
Yeah.
there are funny parts and things to laugh at.
You can laugh at Cowboy Gill.
The birthday party and all that. Yeah, but there are some real poignant. I think this movie hit a little harder after being a parent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's in the title of the movie.
Not to give it away.
Give it away. This movie is about parenthood.
Spoiler alert.
Also, I want to ask before we get any further, did either one of you watch the TV show Parenthood? That was it was also created by Ron Howard. So it was borrowed a lot of the same ideas, but instead of the Buckman family, it was the Braverman family.
Sure. So actually, there were two spinoffs.
Mm-hmm.
There was one earlier, and it starred a young Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
It was only on air for one season.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed it. I didn't watch that.
I never saw that one either.
No, but then there was a second one that ran for 6 seasons?
It was quite a while.
Yeah. And
with Craig T. Nelson and Peter Krause and Lauren Graham, Dax Shepard.
Yeah.
And it borrowed a lot of the same characters.
It did.
Just molded slightly differently.
I think this movie had kind of a far-reaching effect on other things. A lot of sitcoms after the fact kind of took this, not the script, but the idea from Parenthood and ran with it.
Yeah.
A lot of family drama comedies, I think, were kind of born out of the Parenthood idea.
Before we get any further, let's just kind of give a quick summarization of what this movie's about.
Okay, so Parenthood came out in 1989. Parenthood is a warm, funny, and honest look at the chaos of family life through the eyes of the Buckman clan. At the center is Gil Buckman, a stressed-out dad trying to be the perfect parent while dealing with his own childhood baggage. His siblings face their own parenting struggles and situations. There's Helen, who's trying to survive the single mom struggle. You have Nathan, trying to be a perfectionist parent, and Larry, the black sheep of the family who shows up with a +1. All of them trying to navigate the highs and lows of raising kids. With a standout ensemble cast, Parenthood blends humor and heart, proving that there's no such thing as a perfect family, just perfectly imperfect love.
Oh,
That's so sweet.
very sweet.
I wrote that. I thought it was somewhat poetic.
It was, yeah.
I thought that was nice.
And how did this movie do in the box office?
For a family drama, it actually did very, very well.
Okay.
The budget was around $20 million.
It amazes me they could have had this many named stars in a movie and still make it for $20 million.
Right. Well, back then bread was a nickel. So the budget of the film was $20 million. The domestic gross was just a shade over $100 million.
Wow.
Internationally, $126 million. So it did well.
It sure did.
For a family drama.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Now, directing this movie was Ron Howard. You may or may not have heard of him. If you've not heard of him, you probably should lift that rock that you've been living under.
Mm-hmm.
So
Move to the side, get a little bit of sunlight.
He was the guy who would hit the jukebox and go, "Hey." Wasn't that the guy?
No,
That wasn't the guy?
No.
That was Arthur Fonzarelli.
Oh.
Interesting,
Not Ron
though.
Howard.
Henry Winkler,
Uh-huh.
who appeared in one of Ron Howard's first movie, one that we discussed very briefly a few episodes ago, Night Shift,
Night Shift, yeah.
which also starred
Oh.
Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Was he punching jukeboxes?
No, they were working as in a morgue overnight.
Over the night shift,
I can't
yeah.
say whether there was a jukebox in the morgue,
Nah, it could have been.
but I kind of doubt
If there that was probably the music. That was the soundtrack. He was just banging jukeboxes. Hey.
But yeah, as Justin's alluding to, Ron Howard found his fame as a child actor, starting off as Opie on the Andy Griffith Show, and then later Richie Cunningham on Happy Days, in which he starred with Henry Winkler, the Fonz.
Oh, that was the one.
Yeah, but transitioned in the 70s and 80s into becoming a filmmaker and a director. And man, he's got a variety of things under his belt.
He's got some blockbusters.
Prior to Parenthood, we had directed Night Shift, Splash, Cocoon, Willow.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow is one of I still love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it falls a little short for me.
But after Parenthood, man, he really started hitting the blockbusters out of the park. Backdraft, Apollo 13, Ransom, A Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man, The Da Vinci Code, Rush. The dude's done a few things.
He has.
just a
He
couple.
has. And he had a daughter.
He's had several daughters, I
Yeah,
believe.
there's one that's fairly easy on the eyes.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
that would be the one.
So fun fact about his daughters.
All right.
Their middle names are all the cities in which they were conceived.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I wish I'd have done that.
That would be smart. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, because then mine would just be Granite City.
Yeah, not quite the same ring to it.
No, not cool.
Yeah, but so he's done quite a few things. Definitely has a huge resume. And he also lent some assistance on the writing side as well. Though the primary writing credits for this movie go to Lowell Gans and Babaloo Mandel.
Okay. Babaloo?
Babaloo, who were one of the most successful screenwriting duos of the 80s and 90s. Their previous work included, and it's some of the ones we've already talked about, Night Shift, Splash, but also Gung Ho, Spies Like Us, Vibes, and then after Parenthood, some of the ones you might be aware of, City Slickers, A League of Their Own, Mr. Saturday Night, and Forget Paris, as well as Multiplicity and Ed TV.
I thought the screenwriting for this film was phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's got to be
really
such a
was.
challenge because this kind of movie, you've got so many different storylines running.
Yeah, you're weaving them together.
It's so much going on.
It is.
And to be able to hold someone captive like that entire time, that's insane.
It was a 2-hour movie, and I sat down and watched it, and it felt like 30 minutes went by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like super great writing on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And Parenthood is the first movie I can remember watching of this style and enjoying. It's become probably my favorite style of movie, where you have a large ensemble cast and all these intertwined storylines and people coming and going. And whereas most movies, you may have an A plot and a B plot and a C plot. In a movie like this, you have an A, B, C, D, E, F, and G plot all running concurrently. And characters just coming in and out of them. And the complexity of being able to do that and do that well boggles my mind.
Right.
And we'll get into it further, but my favorite thing was every storyline had a conclusion.
It did.
And every storyline was concluded to a point where they all came together to be continued.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, okay,
it wasn't
everything's
finite. Yeah.
right. Everything's fixed and fixed forever. No, everything is brought together to a point. And it just kind of goes to show that parenting is an ongoing job. It really never stops.
Yeah. It was real symbolic.
And they basically brought that together both symbolically and very overtly.
Right.
But I think, overall, they just kind of, the screenwriting really they laid the groundwork for all the performances and everything that came on top of it.
You know, and I thought that was a hella cast here.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's get into it. Let's talk about the characters and the actors and actresses that made this movie what it was on screen.
Well, buckle up, because this is the largest cast list that we have done.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, bear with me. All right. First up, Gil Buckman, played by Steve Martin.
Hey, what do you say later when the kids are asleep? I wear this outfit.
So Gil's a neurotic but loving father of 3 who struggles to balance work, parenting, and his own childhood baggage. Gil is the emotional center of the film, trying desperately to be a better dad than his own.
You know, for Steve Martin to play this role, everything I knew of Steve Martin before this was more in the slapstick role.
Yeah.
So this being more of a dramatic role, there was still some slapstick that he injected in it, which I think helped carry the movie.
Right, yeah.
But I thought this really exposed his chops as a serious actor.
I wouldn't even say a full-blown serious actor, because there's a lot of humor in here. And in many ways, if you've seen one Steve Martin, like if you've ever seen The Jerk,
Yes,
right.
love The
in
Jerk.
many ways, you've seen every Steve Martin role that follows.
Agreed.
Because there's not a lot of range. But this movie, as well as maybe Father of the Bride, brings a tenderness to that.
Right.
Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, yeah, absolutely. Where there's a vulnerability and there's a humanness, whereas roles like The Three Amigos, it's much more straight up humor and slapstick,
Physical comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
which he does brilliantly.
He does.
He does, yeah.
But I thought he really showed some range with this.
Yeah,
I
it
like
showed
it.
that he could be a grown up.
Yeah.
And a parent.
Yeah.
Apparently.
A parenthood.
Who is next?
Next up, I have Karen Buckman, played by Mary Steenburgen.
What do you want me to give you? Guarantees? These are kids, not appliances. Life is messy.
Life is messy, Karen. This is Gil's supportive and grounded wife who tries to keep the family sane amidst the chaos.
I gotta say, just because I'm a dude, she is oddly attractive.
But there's no oddly. You don't need to modify that.
Okay. All right.
She's attractive.
She is.
And we were talking before we started recording
Mhm.
how much she has held up.
Oh, yeah.
And not only held up, she's gotten more beautiful with age.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she plays Will Ferrell's mom in Step Brothers.
I found her more attractive in that than in this.
I am totally with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe we should have her on the podcast sometime.
I would-
Oh, come on, Mary.
Come on, Mary.
Yeah, Mary,
Come
I
on
know.
down.
I know you're listening out there.
You know, other things you may have seen her in, Melvin and Howard, Ragtime, Time After Time, What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Great movie.
And then on television, has made several appearances, including a show I really love, Justified, as well as Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, in which she won an Emmy for her appearance.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
And then, man, she's just always, I think in the case of Parenthood, really demonstrated her trademark style on screen. Warm, quirky, but still grounded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she was the thread that almost tied everything together here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought she did a great job.
She was the center, too.
I love her.
I concur.
All right. Next up, I got Helen Buckman, played by Diane Wiest.
Open this door, God damn it to hell! I would just like a little respect. Not a lot, just a little.
Don't we all, Helen? This is Gil's divorced sister raising 2 teens on her own. She's dealing with a rebellious daughter and an emotionally distant son, all while trying to find love again.
You know, I hate to jump the shark here, but she may have been my favorite character in this movie.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I thought she did a fantastic job. And, you know, hard being a single parent. And back then in '89, when this came out, single parenthood was a bit of a taboo.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't look fondly upon that. I thought she did great. I loved her character. The fact that she was just so consistent, didn't always know what to do, but she was always there. And that kind of sums up parenting.
Well, this was her back-to-back films that she did in which she had to kind of fill that role because she was also the mom in The Lost Boys.
Ah, yeah.
Where she was also a single mom. Of course, this one didn't have as many vampires.
Right. This movie could have used some
Note to Ron Howard, put in more vampires. She's done a few things and definitely was really in her prime and stride in the 80s into early 90s, playing that kind of mom role.
Yeah.
But yeah, still doing things. And every time there's this effortless warmth, just understated comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's just something about her that's relatable and human and likable and endearing, but still brings a gravitas.
You know, you hit the nail on the head there. Human
for sure.
I could really identify with her struggles, and I thought she did a fantastic job in this movie. All right, who's next?
All right, next on my list is Susan Merrick, played by Harley Jane Kozak.
She's weird. She's a weird child.
She really is. Thanks, Rick Moranis. Gil's sister, who wants to expand her family, but clashes with her husband over their parenting differences and life goals.
I thought she was still good, but if in given the breadth and depth of this cast, was probably on the weaker end.
Totally agree. You know, she was easy on the eyes, but as far as her acting chops, I don't think she held up to the others.
But wasn't bad.
I agree.
Wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't enough to make me go, ooh, she's terrible.
Right.
And maybe it was how the role was written. But she was just kind of there. She had her moments where she had some funny stuff, and she was pivotal in some parts. But yeah, nothing really. Man, it's hard with a cast like this and all the award winners she was around.
Oh yeah.
You know, she survived.
Yeah, to me, like, so she was great as a background character, but when she had to be the center of that story, like her own story and like her own development, it was kind of weak.
Yeah, a little bit.
Beyond Parenthood, Harley Jane Kozak is mostly known for her TV work in the 80s and early 90s. But some of her film work did include the movie Arachnophobia in 1990 and a very small role in When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
All right.
So not nearly as accomplished.
Not as her filmography isn't nearly as long as the other people in this cast.
Sure.
And with a role like hers, I wouldn't expect a super established actor or actress to have that role.
She was overshadowed.
Yeah, she was a little bit, but she did okay.
Did all right.
And I think even purposely by our next cast member here, Nathan Merrick, played by Rick Moranis.
Our children are more capable of retaining and absorbing information than we are, and yet we insist on treating them like adorable little morons.
So Nathan is Susan's overbearing husband who's obsessed with turning their young daughter into a genius, often at the expense of actually enjoying parenthood. So I could see why Harley Jane Kozak had such a small kind of role, because she was meant to be and written to be overshadowed by
Rick Moranis,
by her husband.
Yeah, she's acting opposite a comedy legend.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I love Rick Moranis.
Absolutely,
he's great in everything he's in. I just absolutely love him, and I think he's a better person than an actor.
Yeah,
you know, when he lost his wife and he decided to step away from Hollywood and acting to be a parent.
Yeah,
man, that really shows that he had his shit together and his priorities in order.
Absolutely.
It probably helped that he was in a lot of hit movies and probably had decent bank hardy bills.
That does help a little bit.
I mean, it's not a choice that everybody can make, but I'm glad that he could.
But it's also kind of
like
he went against the Hollywood ego.
Yeah.
You know, you were hugely famous and you stepped away from that to take care of your kids, which is not something that every Hollywood actor would be able to do. for sure.
Yeah.
But I will say, Rick Moranis as a good guy, I could not stand this character whatsoever.
I think he played this character so well
that I hated him.
That he was not likable.
No, he was not.
And it's hard for Rick Moranis to not be likable.
Right.
I disagree. I think Rick Moranis has done a really good job of, and it's not in every movie, but he has been an unlikable character in many of the movies he's been in.
He has.
Spaceballs.
Unlikable, yet still lovable.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, his previous work includes movies like Ghostbusters 2, Spaceballs, Little Shop of Horrors, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Strange Brew. Big movies, funny movies. But yeah, he always plays that kind of nerdy guy. Sometimes that kind of nice nerdy guy. Sometimes a bit of an a-hole nerdy guy. But overall, I mean, his characters are defined by vulnerability.
One of my favorite quotes of his: "I'm surrounded by assholes."
But in terms of the character Nathan, yeah, there's this pretentiousness, there's this overbearingness, and I think that actually, Rick Moranis kind of leaned into it and actually brought something to that, and still, in parts, made it humorous and made it vulnerable, and kind of brought that still kind of Rick Moranis quality,
especially as his arc evolved, through the film. And when we get to the end point with his character, I agree. I think it came full circle, and he became lovable when he was kind of hateable at the beginning.
Yeah.
And a different character. I don't know if they could have made that turnaround.
I agree.
So, all right. Well, let's move on.
All right. Next up, I have Larry Buckman, played by Tom Hulse.
Don't insult me. I didn't come here to be insulted.
So this is Gil's irresponsible black sheep brother who returns home broke and with a surprise child in tow. He's charming, but unreliable.
Okay, so I couldn't help but think that I knew him from somewhere.
You know him from a couple places, I would think.
I do. And I watched this movie with my wife, and she's like, as soon as he came on screen, she's like, oh, he's the guy from Amadeus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, that is him.
But that's not the only place you probably know him from.
Where else is it?
He's Larry Kroger in Animal House.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
Justin, have you seen Animal House?
I've not.
Oh my God.
Classic.
Put it on the list.
Well, that's another rapey movie, Animal.
Is it really?
There are definite parts. Absolutely. Did not age well.
When was that one shot or released, I guess?
70s?
Yeah, late 70s maybe.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see rapiness in that.
Right. I thought he, as an actor and as the person he portrayed, I thought he did a great job.
He did, yeah. I mean, he played the part to a T.
He played a hateable character, and I hated his character.
But also, like, for some weird reason, felt bad for him. Like,
yeah.
Like, I hate you, but I also, like, I want to help you. And I hate myself for wanting to help you.
And I think as we talk about this film, we'll talk about how his dad knew who he was. But, he was likable, but again... really not a good dude.
Always up to something.
And I think we can't help it. There has to be at some point a comparison between Larry and Gil, because you have the oldest, and I assume Gil was the oldest.
Yeah, Gil was the oldest.
But you say Gil is the oldest and Larry is the youngest, and Larry outright says, "I'm not Gil." And the relationship with their father in both cases radically molded both of them into what they are.
Yep.
And it's amazing how, and it happens in real life. You see it all the time, how that same dynamic can have a totally different impression and wholly different effect on two kids from the same family.
Well, sure. It's even alluded to in this movie, but one of the examples I give is, okay, so you have a family who have multiple kids. The first child drops their binky. And oh my God, the alarm sound, you pick it up with tongs, you put it in a sack and you sterilize that sucker, and that's not going back in their mouth.
You run the dishwasher at least 6 times a day.
But by the time you get to the third, fourth kid, they drop their binky, you just blow on it, brush it off, and stick it right back in their mouth.
Right, exactly.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's
kid.
Right, yeah. So yeah, the dynamic, and Carl Adler talks about that in his, he was a psychiatrist who talked about birth order. And the difference between the first and the youngest, man, worlds apart. And it is portrayed in this movie, and it's done very well.
Absolutely.
There was something that I heard from Simon Sinek about how manipulation can come in so many different forms.
Mm-hmm.
And this character reminded me of that because he was talking about the person who talks about being emotional and how sensitive they are, and they'll use that against people as manipulation. I thought that really hit the mark with this guy.
Oh, I thought he was a master manipulator.
Mhm.
I thought he played that role really, really well.
It's like
even though I didn't like the character.
Like, don't say mean things to me. I'm very sensitive, but they're doing that to get their way.
Right.
And he was like fit that to a T.
I thought his character was written very, very well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we're getting a bit off track here, so let's get back on the rails.
All
Who's
right.
next?
Next up, I got Frank Buckman, played by Jason Robards.
Was it yours or Helen or Susan's wedding I got drunk at?
It was all three, Dad. Congratulations.
Well, which one did I punch the band leader?
So Frank is the family patriarch who struggles with his past failures as a father and tries to reconnect with his adult children in his own gruff way.
For a cast that's stacked,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Robards, dang, what a friggin' pull.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's an all-star.
He is won multiple Oscars, or he's been nominated multiple times, and he's actually won an Oscar in back-to-back years. In 1976 and 1977. That's practically unheard of.
Yeah.
The guy had legitimate chops.
He did. And for him to be a part of this movie with the rest of this ensemble, yeah, phenomenal cast. Yeah, top to bottom.
Yeah, and what's great about, apparently from what I've read, he was a mentor to a lot of those younger actors and kind of brought a gravitas to the family dynamic feel real. And to have that kind of fatherly character in a movie all about families,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can get into the nitty gritty of the character, but Jason Robards having that kind of presence, wow.
It really showed on screen.
Yeah.
I think his presence and the way he interacted with everybody else in his scenes, I think it really came across as genuine and really, really well done.
Yeah.
But he did a great job.
What I liked about the character, though, while he was confident and had that kind of, grit, he was flawed,
Mm-hmm.
self-awaredly so.
Yeah.
And I thought that brought a vulnerability even to this patriarch who kind of seemed so gruff in a way, but at the same time made him feel approachable and human.
As the movie went on, he became more human.
Yeah.
He started out as kind of an asshole.
Yeah, total asshole.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. And he softened as events and things unfolded. You got to go kind of behind the curtain of his character. And yeah, that takes some skill to pull off.
And what I like about this kind of movie, though, I don't know if it's so much that he softened. It's just we got to know him more.
True.
Just like you would meet someone for the first time and think, oh, that guy's a douche.
Mm-hmm.
But you spend a little time with them and you start to understand how they operate and where they're coming from. Their behavior has not changed, but you understand the motivations behind it. And suddenly, oh, they're not so bad. I actually might like that guy. And I think that's kind of what happens with Frank.
Oh my God. That's great. You should be a therapist. That's amazing.
All right. Next up on my list, I have Julie Buckman, played by Martha Plimpton.
Well, I thought someone in this house ought to be having sex.
I agree.
I mean, with something that doesn't require batteries.
That was a hell of a burn right there. That was
burn.
good. Uh-huh.
All right. So Julie is Helen's teenage daughter who's in a rebellious relationship and challenges her mother's authority, but is also searching for connection and understanding.
You can't really have a family movie without having child actors.
Right.
Which is always like a weak point. It's a
Gamble.
linchpin. It's a gamble.
It is.
And
usually.
Overall, I think this movie struck gold.
Absolutely.
Well,
Holy cow.
When you look at the child actors and what they went on to become, wow, that's some star power.
I mean, even the little kid, Justin, even that kid,
he was great,
he
wasn't he?
was wonderful.
Yeah.
And like all the kids, like even the background kids at the party, and
Oh, yeah,
you know,
and
they
the
were all so
douchebag Max on the baseball team. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, they were all great. Kevin, Gil's son.
Yeah, he was really good.
He played that really, really well.
He did.
But I think leading the pack, we had Martha Plimpton as Julie, and older. I don't know actually. Didn't look up to see how old she was as an actress, but the character's presumably around 18 years old. She's a senior in high school, getting ready to go to college. Still a young actress, and she just brought again this at first glance this petulance,
right?
But as the movie went on, you got to know her a bit better,
and she had more depth.
She did.
Yeah. Boy, that's a common theme. As you got to know them more, you related a little bit, and you understood their actions, and maybe they weren't just assholes. They had motives behind it, and you got to understand what they were. I thought she did a great job.
Maybe they're just a little misunderstood.
Yeah. And in some of her later things, I'm not a big fan of this actress, but in this movie, I thought she was fantastic.
I know you're a big fan of some of her previous work, though.
Yeah, fire away.
The Goonies.
Love The Goonies, yeah.
She wasn't my favorite in the Goonies.
No, I'm not saying she was my favorite either, but she was good.
She was all right.
She was fun.
Yep.
She was Andy.
Then what else did she go on to do?
Running on Empty, Mosquito Coast. I'm not familiar with either one of those.
Same.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Todd Higgins, played by someone no one has ever heard of, Keanu Reeves.
That is one messed up little dude.
So Todd is Julie's sweet but dim-witted boyfriend who surprises everyone with his insight and heart. He forms an unexpected bond with Helen's son.
It bugs me when movies or films or TV shows take common names but choose to spell them in dumb ways.
Right. Todd, T-O-D.
T-O-D, Todd. And I went through this whole movie until the point I saw it written on his helmet, assuming it was the spelled out proper name, T-O-D-D. But for some reason, it's T-O-D. I don't know why they made that choice.
You know what? Is the extra D really necessary
No.
for Todd?
But I like it.
And that's my choice.
Is this movie the most star-studded cast we've done yet?
Oh, by far.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yep.
What I want to know, and I don't know if do you remember, did this come out before or after Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Now, they're both 89.
It was before, I believe.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I saw Bill and Ted before I saw Parenthood.
Okay.
Okay.
And so when I saw this immediately, it was like, oh, it's
he's doing the
Ted
same
Theodore
character.
Logan.
Right. Yeah, that was the character. And that's what I even thought today, too. I'm like, oh, forgot how annoying his character is. And then his character became not annoying.
No.
He turned into a solid dude.
He did.
Yeah.
For a young actor who would go on to be a much bigger name. Absolutely. But for this point in his career, wow, he actually, for what could have been with any other actor, a complete throwaway, I think he brought a lot to this role.
I agree. Now, just for those who may be living under that rock we talked about earlier, what else was Keanu Reeves in?
Well, prior to this, so we had River's Edge and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure from the 80s. But after that, Speed, the Matrix trilogy, the John Wick series, Point Break. Yeah, I mean,
all good things.
I don't know if they're all good, but they're all big things.
They're good. Come on. Even if they're guilty pleasures, they're still good.
And I think his best role ever is in the SpongeBob movie.
Talking to guilty pleasures, boy, that John Wick series.
Oh man,
that is a guilty pleasure for me.
It is.
That's amazing.
And maybe I'm kind of shrouded by his just good nature in real life. And I don't know him personally, obviously, but the things that you've heard about him.
Well, you hear so much good about him as a person.
Like the way he lives his life and how much money he donates. And, he's real simplistic and he doesn't buy fancy things.
Right,
And he donates more than he spends.
He doesn't live the Hollywood lifestyle.
Right.
I like him.
Oh, you got to. Oh,
All
man.
right.
Here we go.
Who else we got?
Last but not least, thanks for hanging in there on this one. We got Gary Buckman, played by Joaquin Phoenix.
What is it with the women in this family that make all the men in this family want to leave?
I ask myself the same question, Gary. Now, Gary is Helen's introverted son who struggles with the absence of his father and hides in his own emotional shell.
So we know how accomplished Joaquin Phoenix has become.
Yes.
Yeah.
His name was not Joaquin when he was credited in this film.
Right.
No, credited as Leaf Phoenix.
Leaf Phoenix. Now, I read that all of the accomplished actors and actresses in this movie were really impressed by how he carried himself on set.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a child actor, he was prepared. He was serious. He didn't involve himself in shenanigans. They said he was the consummate professional. And as a child actor, that was unheard of.
Wow.
Well, if you think about the spectrum of emotion that Gary brought to the screen,
mm-hmm.
well, he first brought a lot of apathy,
Mm-hmm.
and then brought a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And then we had moments of joy,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and we had moments of love and compassion, and more moments of pain, and more moments of apathy, and more moments of joy.
And then he had moments of insight.
He did.
Yeah.
And that's not something that most adult actors could execute this well.
Right.
Regardless of what he went and did in the future, I thought as a child actor in this film, he was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was another one of the really good child actors in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And all that roller coaster just because he's ashamed of masturbating.
I know. if anything, this movie, I mean, I know for me, when I was a kid and I watched this, it taught me, it's like, don't be ashamed of masturbating.
Right. I mean, and we've all gone through that. Like when you're young and you're like,
Right.
you pull one off and you'd be like, oh man, I'm so ashamed.
Oh, I remember driving in a car.
Can't
I was
look my mom in the eye.
I was 16, and my best friend at the time, Dave, he and I were driving around, and masturbation came up. And it's like, do you do that? No.
Hell no.
No, I wouldn't do that.
That's stupid.
Knowing that both of us are yanking the chain is any chance we can get.
At that age, probably 6 times a day.
Right. But we're still saying, no, we don't.
Right.
Because we're kind of ashamed of it.
Right, yeah.
And-
even with your
and-
buddies.
All right. Well, that is one hell of a cast.
It sure is.
A lot of characters.
Oh, pinch poke. You owe me a Coke.
A lot of characters in this movie. And so, man, we've already eaten a good amount of time just getting through them. So let's jump into headfirst the scenes of this movie. And we start things off with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah. Cardinals baseball game.
Nothing like a regional sports team in a national movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there we are.
Well,
Right,
if you
We're on the
want
map.
people to know a movie takes place in St. Louis, you just put a Cardinal logo on it.
Yep. Everybody knows.
All over the place.
Mhm.
And so we start things off, and I didn't realize it when they first, at the very beginning, but we realized very quickly that this is a flashback
Mm-hmm.
to Gil and his dad going to the ballpark, and Gil's dad sits him down, and then he basically gives money to an usher to go hang out with Gil.
Right.
And turns out this apparently is a pretty normal occurrence.
But you have to understand, my father, in his own childhood, was without a positive male influence.
Huh?
His own father kicked him out when he was 15. So my dad was taught to see child raising as a job, a burden, a prison, rather than a playground.
I love Baby Gil.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
and we basically get a child talking like a 35-year-old man.
Right. To the
Yeah.
usher.
Yeah, to the usher. And we then he starts using words like that the usher is an amalgam, and that he's actually, you're not real, you're just a combination of all the ushers that my dad left me with. And so this whole sets up this thing. It basically, shows that Gil is, I don't know, kind of a bit of a neurotic mess, flashing back to his childhood.
Right. Trying to figure out his own childhood.
Yeah.
My favorite
Wild.
part of the scene is when his wife talks to him. And he's like, who's that? He's like, that's my wife. And the usher looks at her and he goes, nice.
And that snaps him back into the present time where
Yep.
he is at a St. Louis Cardinals game with his family. They want us to think they're in, at Busch Stadium.
Right.
And they get up and leave the game, and that being except the opening credits, Gary Newman's. Is it Gary Newman?
Randy Newman.
Yeah,
Randy.
Oh man, no, Gary Newman's from Cars.
Yeah, Randy Newman.
Newman.
I love to see you smile.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about this was all the stuff they were carrying.
I have a note about that. My exact note is, who buys this much shit at a baseball game?
You got to take a loan out for all those souvenirs.
For sure. But it was also kind of like the perfect depiction of parenthood.
Yeah.
Because like you do end up buying ridiculous things like inflatable baseball bats and seat cushions and like
foam fingers.
Right.
Things that
like,
the kids absolutely need in that moment. Like
Right.
it's the most
Never-
important thing ever.
Now, my favorite thing is when
again.
he herds all the kids to the car, and the youngest, the toddler, has such the messy face.
Yeah, he does.
And the mom reaches back and is like, I'm trying to wipe the face off, and then she's like, nah,
forget about it.
Whatever. Yeah, that's great.
Now, in this moment in this sequence, it's also one of those things that nitpicked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was definitely not shot in St. Louis.
No.
Right.
Because when the daughter kind of runs off and Gil has to go chase her down, there's a palm tree visible in the upper left-hand corner of the shot, and there are no palm trees in St. Louis.
Maybe
No,
it was a spring.
not a bit.
Maybe it was a spring training game. They're in Jupiter, Florida.
Down in Jupiter.
Yeah, and as it turns out, the movie, its primary filming location was Orlando, Florida. And a lot of things were also shot throughout Central Florida, such as fairgrounds, theme parks. Things were also shot on the Universal Studio backlots. And yeah, about the only thing that was actually St. Louis were some insert shots of Cardinals players playing at Busch Stadium.
Yep.
Everything else though was Florida.
And it didn't even look like Busch Stadium.
No,
not one bit.
No. But hey, we know what Busch Stadium
we know
looks
it.
like.
We've
Yeah.
been there. Old Busch.
The casual viewer.
R.I.P. Old Busch.
Heck no, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, they sure
So
wouldn't.
yeah, that was a good way to start the movie.
Yeah. Though from there we go to one of my favorite parts of the movie when I was a kid.
When you're sliding into first and you're feeling something burst, diarrhea. When you're sliding
this is pure gold.
It is.
Yeah,
when you
this is-
juice
it
the turd,
is.
diarrhea. When you're sliding into home and your circle full of foam, diarrhea.
It reminds me of
Diarrhea.
4th grade Little League.
Oh heck yeah! Who didn't sing this song?
Right. Yeah.
After seeing this movie as a kid, who didn't do this?
Right.
Yeah, that was great.
And it also makes me now as a parent, all those times my daughter, now she didn't sing the diarrhea song, but all the songs she would sing in the backseat of the car. I mean, God, this is a hell of a lot better than Baby Shark.
Oh man, yeah. I would take this over Baby Shark any day. I'm not falling.
No, not doing it.
Can't do it. Don't even try to bait me.
I was lucky
I
enough.
almost did.
My kids missed the Baby Shark extravaganza.
You are lucky. Yeah.
I am lucky. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But they get home, try to put the kids to bed. Fun moments. Kevin's passed out, being carried in. The youngest son, Justin, comes dressed in absolutely nothing other than a cowboy hat and a holster.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're not going to find a naked toddler in a movie today.
No. You're not gonna,
No.
That was full frontal.
Toddler nudity is
Right.
not going to be shown in a movie today.
Nope.
But it was there in 1989.
It sure was.
Rated PG.
Yeah. It's just a little toddler dick. That's all.
And that's when, and we heard the clip earlier. That's when Gil says, "Hey, I'm gonna wear this outfit later." Yeah.
Daughter Taylor is sick. Wants Gil to go check on her. Gil does. And yeah, that's.
What's the matter, honey? You don't feel so good? You feel like you want to throw up?
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh, Taylor, baby.
So I love it. Like she waited until he gave her the okay.
Oh, that's parenting 101. You don't talk about the throw up without the bowl.
Yeah. Well,
You got to have the bowl.
and I was actually a little upset as him as a father. He didn't get the hands out there. You got to catch that shit.
Right. Yeah, you got to take that off the bed. Wear it.
I've definitely had a 2 handful of puke before.
Who hasn't?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From there, once we deal with that mess, mom and dad have a little bit of mom and dad time, which is just interrupted by constant thoughts of other things that parents have to deal with. Top of the list, they have to go see the principal about Kevin.
Right.
Apparently he's been making a bit of a face.
Kevin is a bit of an anxious kid.
He is, yeah.
And I think he gets that from Gil.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
He is mini me for Gil,
Right.
for sure. But for me, like, I'm going to have the sex and then we'll talk about it.
Well, especially if it's with her. She's a hottie. But yeah, I get it. He keeps, the mood keeps getting interrupted with thoughts of, oh my gosh,
Right.
Kevin's a good kid.
Yeah.
How come they can't see it?
Gil is quite frankly pissed about it.
Yep.
He doesn't want Kevin to be labeled as a kid with problems. And basically says, it's not like he's, my sister's kid, Gary.
Right.
That kid has
That
problems.
kid has problems.
We cut, though, after mention of the problem child, Gary, at his sister's house to his sister's house, Helen, where we meet Gary. We don't know anything about Gary at this point other than he's a creeper kid with a paper bag who puts a lock on his door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Doesn't want anybody in his room. And he leaves the house with this brown paper bag full of who knows what.
Yeah, Helen wants to know where he's going and what's in the bag, but no answers are given.
Mm-hmm.
All we do learn, though, that the whole family is coming over that night, but Gary grabs a skateboard, rushes out. Then mom goes to check on Julie, wants to know if she can help with the family coming over. Also mentioned in here is that she heard Julie moaning and wants to make sure everything is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she had a tummy ache.
Yeah,
Yes, Julie
Just
says
a
she has a
stomach
tummy ache. Just
That's
a
it.
tummy ache.
But no, she was harboring her boyfriend, Todd.
T.O.D. Todd.
T.O.D.
T.O.D. Todd. And not only T.O.D. Todd, but that T.O.D. Todd.
You know what he did with the other D?
Stuck it in Julie.
Oh, boy, that's rich. That's rich.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then you know this isn't going to work out well. But Todd busts out a camera.
Mm-hmm.
We can record our love.
Oh, to be a teenager in love or lust, whatever it is.
We bounce around quite a bit at the beginning of this movie, largely because there's just so much with this many characters and this many plot lines. You got to just rock the exposition out quickly.
Right. So let's summarize real quick. So we've got Gil.
Mm-hmm.
Gil's got 3 kids.
Yep.
Got the oldest, Kevin, who is battling anxiety.
Yep.
Right.
And then he has a daughter. Middle girl's a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She seems pretty cool. She seems
She
all right.
vomits.
Yeah. too many hot dogs at the game.
Right.
And then they have their youngest.
A naked boy.
A naked cowboy.
Naked
who
cowboy.
likes to ram his head into things.
He does.
And they think that's totally normal. And, as toddlers go, it could be.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is one family dynamic that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So the other family dynamic is the single mom,
Right.
Helen.
Yep, and she has Gary and Julie.
Right.
And so Julie's, the 18-year-old who's in love with Todd,
rebellious teen.
Yep, sneaks
That
him into the
Todd.
house. That Todd.
And
so we've got her, and then we learn as we progress that we've got
Susan and Nathan.
Yeah, Susan and Nathan.
Yep.
And they have a daughter, and they are like hell bent on her being a genius.
Oh,
Right.
Such overachievers.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, if you want to have just an ordinary academic career and attend an ordinary university, that's your prerogative. But I must tell you, I think you're selling yourself way short.
And what I love is he's talking at this point. It sounds like he's talking to like a teenager,
Right.
or like a 20-something. And then when we finally see the daughter, she's like 6 years old.
Right. Right.
It's
It's hilarious. So we have those 3 separate family dynamics going on. And then at the dinner party that night, we find out about a 4th.
Yep. Because when we get back to when the whole family gathers at Helen's house, and we also meet Grandpa, who apparently got drunk at all their weddings and punched a band leader. I mean, that just seems like a normal wedding.
Sure.
Who hasn't had a story like that from their wedding? Helen and Karen, they make small talk, and Nathan making Patty read Kafka. It's just a normal kind of gathering, the normal stuff.
It almost seems like nobody really wanted to be there, but they were there because they had to be.
Well, and that's like every family event.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to go?
Not always, no.
Yeah, I don't really want to go.
Everyone at this family gathering, though, is there because the grandparents have a big surprise. And eventually we do learn what that surprise is whenever youngest brother Larry returns.
Yep.
Oh, Larry! Oh, my baby!
You look great.
Dad! Hi, son. Oh, boy.
Great to see you!
Well put.
Oh,
Wait a second. I've got something for you. That's my kid brother, Larry. Your uncle. Don't give him any money.
I won't.
So it's been 3 years since Larry's been back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry. And did you notice the part where he's like, "Oh, if you weren't my sister."
Yeah, that was kind of gross.
Yeah. And it's interesting, being an adult now compared to being an adult then. Because being an adult now, we have Facebook. We have all these different ways where we are passively keeping up with the Joneses. We know what's going on with family members. Like, I know that my brother and my sister-in-law are off doing a 100-mile bike ride this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Sounds like terrible torture to me, but that's what they're into. Good for them.
Especially this time of year. It's so hot.
God.
No, I wouldn't do
But
that.
I don't have to have a regular conversation with them to know what's going on with their life.
Right. But back then
you did.
didn't. Right.
And what I don't think has changed since from then to now is that talking to family members on the phone just sucks.
Well, there's another surprise coming from the estranged son, Larry.
Yeah, because no one's kept up with anyone. No one knows what's going on. So Larry's there, and we find out that Larry has a son
named Cool.
Cool.
Which is a pretty cool name.
It's a cool name.
I think it fits him.
It's cool.
I remember watching this as a child, and I had the same emotion as watching it as an adult. I felt really bad for Cool.
Right.
Because really,
100%.
He is like the forgotten character in this movie.
Yeah.
He is introduced. He pops up maybe once or twice, but only kind of in the background.
Right.
And then he has a scene at the end, but he's kind of like came out of nowhere and he's just there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really kind of fits.
Yeah.
Because Larry doesn't much take on the responsibility of being a parent to Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was living in Vegas with this girl, showgirl. She was in that show, Elvis on Ice.
Sounds like a great show.
We drifted apart as people do in these complicated times.
So complicated.
And then a couple of months ago, she shows up with Cool, tells me, "You watch him. I shot someone. I have to leave the country."
Exciting life,
That's
Larry.
a parent?
And as you notice Larry's character, everything he says is shit.
Right.
So I don't believe it for a moment.
No.
Yeah.
I kind of, based upon how full of shit he is, and anyone in his periphery would probably very quickly become he's aware of shit, or he's full of shit. What mother would say, take this child?
Right.
I mean, I feel like there's got to be some kind of circumstance. I just don't know if the circumstance we're given is the circumstance.
So, probably not.
So at this family dinner, the fourth family dynamic shows up, which is, now Larry is coming back to live with Dad Frank with Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes the fourth storyline.
Yeah, because Larry's supposedly there for a hydroponics deal.
Yeah. He's chasing the quick and easy money.
Yep.
But he's chasing in the wrong direction.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
While they're having their dinner, though, the power goes out.
Yep.
And this whole one of those moments,
iconic scene of the movie,
just cemented in my brain as a child.
Oh, get a flashlight.
I don't know that I fully understood it when I was a child, but now I do.
Sure.
Because Gil went off to go find a flashlight,
which is upstairs in the bedroom
in the nightstand. And when Gil comes stumbling through in the dark, like, I don't know how to turn this on. Where's the switch? And then the light turns on, and what do we find out? He's holding, but just a giant vibrator.
Where's the switch?
Does this look like my house?
Here, bring it here.
Oh, here it is. What is this?
And this is one of those. This is the moment, as an adult,
What was that?
That was an electric ear cleaner.
It was kind of big.
It sure was.
Somebody's got
Yeah.
big ears.
That's the granny in the background saying,
Right.
it sure was.
But this is the moment, as an adult, I'm a little scarred by knowing that my parents laughed at it.
Did they laugh a little too hard?
Was it a relatable, like we relate laugh?
I would just say there was a laugh of recognition. And that by itself is enough for me to kind of like,
oh no.
Yeah, you never want to think about your own mom with a device like that.
No, heck no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Maybe they just read about it in a magazine.
Yeah, maybe it was funny because they knew what it was.
Yeah.
Not because they had one and used it repeatedly.
That's
over.
Wishful thinking.
And over. And over.
Stop talking. Anyway, so.
And over.
All right, so we're going to move on.
I think Seth threw up in his mouth a little bit.
I got two hands for you.
Yeah.
Hang on. I gotta just wash this out with a little, forehand citywide.
So smooth.
All right, that's better.
Are you getting a little buzz?
Working on it. All right.
I'm working a little harder now.
Yeah. You get the pun there? Buzz to get it?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. So we're going to cut on to the school where Kevin attends. Gil and Karen are there for a meeting with the principal.
Mm-hmm.
Principal thinks that they're going to have to be careful about Kevin's educational environment. And their suggestion is to actually that Kevin should probably move to a different school in a special education environment.
Right. Something that can help address his anxiety a little bit more.
Yeah. And that doesn't go over well.
No.
A child psychologist comes in. They find out that this person has been observing their son, and they say that the teacher of the classroom has been spending 20% of their time just with Kevin, and that's unfair to the rest of the kids.
Sure.
How do you feel, though, about, like, in today's age, if the school came to you and said, listen, like, our school psychologist has been observing your son without your consent? Like,
yeah, I think that conversation should have started much earlier.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, there's some things that
But-
are going on that
but
makes
then
them
again-
observe him. So why are you not discussing this ahead of time?
Well, then again, that's 1989. Things like having anxiety
True.
is not really mainstream yet.
No, and that's one of the interesting differences between the movie and the TV show, the most recent iteration,
Mhm,
the one with
Dak Shepard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Peter Krause.
Laura Graham.
Yep. Monica Potter.
You win.
First name, last name.
Yeah.
Sarah Ramos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway, the biggest difference here is that Kevin is not really, he's just treated as a kid with anxiety.
Right.
Whereas in the TV version, the son, who is apparently the parallel character who's in the TV show, is named Max,
Had a much more serious condition.
He is diagnosed with autism.
Right.
Which at that point, many decades later, it is a more known thing, a more understood thing. And I think by just putting a label on it and defining what it is beyond this, he's just a weird kid with anxiety, I think does a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
1989, autism wasn't a thing that people knew about. Rain Man was the only character I can think of at that time who autism was really being put out there as a label. And his diagnosis of autism wasn't really in line with what most autism diagnoses are today.
Right.
It was a spectrum, but, very much a caricaturization of what it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that the shortfall of this character is that, they're not, and it might also just be a reflection of 1989. There's just, by saying he just is a sensitive kid and needs special education, it just felt like a bit of a stretch.
Right. I watching this movie, I was kind of torn with this situation. Is it a kid who's just nervous about stuff? or is this a real endemic issue
Right.
with the child that's keeping his education, I don't know, at bay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, they kind of explained it in the meeting a little bit, but still, it was kind of, to today's standards, it was kind of weak.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the movie on one hand tries to basically show a parallel that Kevin is just like Gil. Okay, well, Kevin's just like Gil, unless Gil has some form of diagnosis. I mean, he's
right. He went through public school. He was fine.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, he made it.
In I would think I'm even less sensitive time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just feels a little bit weird, but ultimately the psychologist there is saying that, you know, this could have been, he may have been like this in the womb,
right?
And it could be some biochemical things, which leads to Gil to kind of jump to some odd reactions.
She smoked grass.
I never smoked when I was pregnant.
Yeah, but in college you were like a chimney. I thought you were going to join a
15
reggae
years
band.
ago.
I would say there's been
Reggae
some
band.
chromosome distortion.
Well, you let them do anything. You let them watch TV just like
So we'll take
that.
the
with
TVs
their
out. We'll put
noses
the
right-
TVs in the garbage then, and you and I we'll perform more some Shakespeare or some.
which you know, Gil kind of summed it up. I'm sorry, this is just all taking me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I can relate.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a student teacher conference or you meet with the principal, whatever, and you don't know what's going on because of that communication hasn't been happening.
Right.
You know, when it comes out of left field, yeah, I'd be a little bit blown away too.
And maybe a bit defensive. Yeah.
Right.
You know, pointing the finger at anybody else but me.
Right.
Not healthy, but still, I get it.
Yeah.
But they kind of reach a bit of a compromise during this meeting. You know, they say there's 4 months until the start of the next school year. You know, if you get into private counseling, you know, maybe you can work and see where things are, and we'll reevaluate. So,
and I love in that part he said that they could fix him in 4 months.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, good luck, buddy.
Right.
Like, not happening.
Like anxiety is something you can just fix.
Right.
Yeah.
4 months later, I'm all good.
Yeah. From here though, we go to Julian Todd in the photo hut to pick up their sexy photos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember those?
The photo huts?
The standalone photo huts?
Yeah, the little tiny kiosks in the middle of a parking lot
like
where you get your photos.
Was it Fox Photo? or
Fox
something
Photos
like that?
is one, yeah. Kodak Photos was another.
But
there was one in granite. I thought that was hilarious.
It was such a weird time, though. I mean, by today's standards, anyway. The fact that you had to take all these photos and it took weeks to find out that you took shitty photos.
Exactly. None of them were good.
Never.
Hey, who deals with film anymore?
Red eyes galore.
Right?
What's weird is that instant camera, the disposable camera.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of making a comeback.
Is it really?
And actually, even just a lot of phones, you can get the filters and such.
Right.
They are making lenses, interchangeable lenses, like for the kind of cameras I shoot video with.
Yeah.
Using disposable camera lenses that are fitted to fit whatever kind of lens to give you the disposable camera look on a multi-$1,000 camera.
That's ridiculous.
It's
That is
stupid.
ridiculous.
It is so stupid.
Now, I was at a wedding not long ago where they had disposable cameras on all the tables.
My sister's wedding was like
I mean,
that.
that was a thing.
It was.
I don't know why anyone would do that now. Who wants shitty photos?
And
it
also,
came back. They
like-
didn't want to pay a photographer, I guess.
But still, like the photos that you get,
Uh-huh.
oh, especially as the night goes on and people get drunk.
Oh, I always
yeah.
I always take the disposable camera to the bathroom.
I
was
did
gonna
the
I was
same
gonna ask.
thing.
Have you ever taken one of those cameras and took a photo of your bare ass?
Not my ass. Bust out the wide angled lens, baby.
So here's what I think is funny about that is like you get all like you have like 100 cameras.
Yeah.
And you're going to get you have to pay to
Every one of
get
those.
all of these processed.
And you have to process them all.
Yeah.
right.
And then go through all these
And
shitty
then
photographs.
You're going to have
The pictures that you get are garbage.
so if you have 24 photos per camera,
Right.
and if everyone maxed out so you get 2,400 photos.
That's a big wedding.
You
And I guarantee you, like, and
100 tables?
I'm a professional photographer,
Mhm.
and my keep to pitch ratio is about 10%. So the average person is probably close to 1%.
right.
So which means you're going to get 24 photos that are worth a damn. And honestly, even then, they're not really worth a damn because they're shot on a disposable camera.
And then how much are you going to spend for purchasing the disposable cameras?
Hundreds.
And then getting them all developed?
Hundreds more.
Right. Yeah.
Not great.
No. So if you're out there and you're about to plan a wedding, don't do that.
Don't.
No.
You'll have nothing but regrets.
You know, the most recent wedding I was at, they actually had like a QR code. And it was like, take pictures with your cell phone.
And just upload it.
And then upload it to this.
Okay.
And then they're digital and you don't have to pay for it. And it's like, you can choose like, oh, I really like that. I'm gonna take that one.
Sure.
But yeah, like the camera quality is going to be better.
Right.
And if you don't like any of them, you don't have to pay to process any of them.
Or I was at one that had like a selfie station.
Yeah.
Or ones that have photo booths.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, whatever. I wouldn't look at that shit.
Heck no.
I don't care about, at my wedding, I don't care who's there. Really?
But anyway, so they're at the photo hut.
There is a photo hut.
They're at the photo hut going to pick up their sexy photos.
Yep.
And they go to get the order, and they're so excited to look at it. But as they're flipping through, they find out there's only a bunch of photos from Helen's promotion at the bank.
Mom's photos.
Mom's photos.
Whoa.
Oh, shiznit.
What happened to their photos?
Well, turns out they were already picked up.
Oh, by mom.
By mom.
Oh, ouch.
Oops a daisies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
why didn't they place the order under Todd's name?
Yeah, that would have been better.
Just in case. I mean, hey, this is the photo hut closest to my house. Maybe I shouldn't place an order under my name just in case. But, shit happens.
So, Martha, or Julie, sorry.
Julie
Buckman, the daughter, goes home with her mom's photos.
Yep.
And there's mom.
I think this one is my favorite.
Ooh. Ouch.
It's just for fun, Mom.
Well, I'm glad to know it's not a job.
Well, now there's OnlyFans.
I mean,
so they're
making a lot of money with feet.
Could be a job today.
Right.
Could be.
So mom is looking at their sexy photos because she picked up the wrong group of developed pictures. Ouch.
Yeah. Not the way that you want to find out that your daughter's been boinking that Todd.
Right.
No.
Oh, this sets off a fight.
It does.
Do you know why I'm having sex with machinery? Because your father left to have a party and I stayed to raise 2 kids. And I have no life! God damn it! What are you doing?
I'm leaving before we think you'll regret.
You're going to say something worse than the battery remark?
Todd and I are in love.
And Julie storms out.
Yep. And I feel for Helen.
Yeah. And the instant juxtaposition, because in one moment, Helen is just so hell-bent. She's like, don't even think about leaving this. If you even dare leave this house, don't ever think about coming back.
Right.
And as soon as Julie leaves and they start walking down the street, suddenly...
Honey, I'm always here if you need me. Sweetheart, honey, be careful. If you want anything, just call me. Julie.
So...
Bye.
So Julie called mom's...
I love that moment.
Yeah.
Just that, bye.
Julie called mom's bluff and left the house.
Yeah,
she did.
And when she called the bluff, mom made a 180. And I got to say, I would have done the same thing as a parent.
Probably.
When they leave the house, I'm like, no, come back.
Right.
No.
Well, I mean, she was angry. Helen had every right to be
Every
angry.
right to be angry
Every
about
reason
that,
to feel
yep.
hurt.
Yep.
Every reason to feel kind of betrayed. But
she just wanted to see pictures of her promotion.
Yeah. That's to say.
Oh, she made the comment.
And you got an eye full of daughter.
Right?
Naked daughter.
And did she even get her did Julie even give her photos?
I don't know.
Julie walked out with her photos, that bitch.
Oh. Well, Helen even made a comment. This was in your room. You did this in my house. I could see saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everything she says is relatable, as well as once Julie walks out the door, having that moment of clarity, realizing like, I just said a lot of things, but when it comes down to it, I'm here and I want you to know I'm here.
Have you guys ever had to deal with anything like that with your kids?
Not to that extreme, no.
No. There was one point where Cameron was really pushing us to the point, and she was screaming and yelling and said she wanted to leave.
Okay.
And said she was going to run away. And so I helped her pack her bag.
Wow.
And I loaded it up with everything I could possibly think of.
Right.
To the point, it was heavy. It was really heavy. And I'm like, all right, kid, best of luck.
It wasn't.
And as she started to pull it down the hallway, she was like, I don't want to go.
So it wasn't a stick with a handkerchief tied to the end.
No. It was a fully loaded suitcase.
Nice.
See, I remember threatening.
I think we put like sodas in there.
You have some libations. So I remember as a kid saying that I was gonna run away.
Yeah.
And my mom packed my lunch.
Nice.
And that's all I took with me was just my lunch.
Yeah.
And I ran away to the backyard.
Uh-huh.
And that's about as far as I got. And I ate my lunch and then I came back.
Nice.
Like tail tucked between my legs. Like I didn't make it far. I
I have a similar story. I think, it's kind of the growing up process. You're like, I'm running away.
Right.
That was a real out when we were kids.
Yeah.
But not really.
No. Because you knew you weren't supposed to leave the yard.
Right.
Like, I'm only going to run away to the backyard. I'm not going to leave the yard.
I'm going to run away behind the tree.
That's crazy talk.
But Julie left.
Yep.
She did.
She was gone.
She gone.
Yep. She's going to go live with Todd.
Aye.
Yeah.
From here, though, we cut it back over to Frank's house, and he and Larry are out in the garage and looking at Frank's car, bonding over it, the beautiness of this automobile, which apparently Frank got laid in one just like it back in the day.
Yeah, it was an old classic car that he wiped with a diaper rag every other day.
Yep.
It's a good looking car.
And Larry is playing an angle and definitely trying to butter him up for some sweet cashola.
Oh, come on. Putting together a deal, you gotta look like you can piss with the big boys.
You see, you know.
How much?
Couple thousand. 3 tops.
3.
Tops.
Tops.
So he's just trying to squeeze money out of his old man.
Yeah.
And he's slimy.
Super slimy.
Yep. And Dad is more than willing to help him out.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I'm a bit confused. As a parent, you know what your kids are.
Right.
And he knows what Larry is.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes home, shows up after 3 years out of nowhere with a kid.
And a hydroponics deal.
Yeah. Trying to make a deal for some quick money. And Dad's eating it up. And I always wondered why.
I think it goes back to the flashback at Busch Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Where Gil's there being dropped off on his birthday because Frank has to go see his friends. I think Frank, while he definitely, we learn later in the movie, definitely probably has some worry and anxiety issues as well. I think Frank is a get rich quick kind of guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he even has said at the family dinner at Helen's house, the mom, who I don't even know what she have her name, but Frank's wife.
Yeah.
It says, like, does this sound like a get rich quick scheme? And Frank's like, well, that's the best way to get rich.
Right.
So I think in many ways they are kindred spirits.
I agree. I think Frank sees a lot of himself in Larry.
Now, he might not be fully understanding of how deep down the hole Larry is.
Right.
But I think they're kindred enough that Larry wants to think, is capable of thinking the best of Larry.
Right. And as a parent, you want to root for the success of your kids.
You do.
And I think Frank's a little bit blind at this point about Larry.
Yeah, for sure.
From here, though, we catch up with Nathan, who is working with Patty. They're in their front yard doing karate. And talking about how it's important to teach their child Asian culture because of the future of blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit?
Right. So he's trying to raise a genius, and he is just shoving information down his kid's throat.
Yeah, for sure.
Susan gets home very excited because she's going to be teaching summer school, which means they're going to have extra money for vacation, which she's very excited about, and says, we've already talked to Gil and Karen. They'll watch the Patty.
They'll watch the kiddo.
But Nathan doesn't think that's a good idea.
Gee, honey, I'm really not too pro on Patty spending a week with Gil.
Why not? They offered.
I'm a little concerned about his jocularity. I mean, he's a wonderful guy. He's a little, lighthearted about things that we consider important.
She has fun over there. You know, she scampers, she cavorts.
Hey, try this. We take Patty with us.
That sounds terrible.
There's a perfect opportunity to start her on Spanish.
Also, I think the word cavort is highly underused.
Right. That's a good word.
And I like that there's a moment of vulnerability we get from Susan, because up to this point, it felt like really she and Nathan were in lockstep with this uber helicopter parenting.
Until now.
Yep. And we see the chink in the armor.
Yep, the rift.
And we see the rift start to grow. And what I love is there's a moment of complete vulnerability where Susan breaks down, grabs a shoebox that she's had stashed away, which is chock-a-block full of candy bars and snack food.
Yeah. And she wolfs down a ding-dong.
I don't blame her one bit.
No. In spite, because they're supposed to be eating healthy and power eating and all that stuff.
They bring their own meals to family gatherings.
Right. But she gets into the back of the closet, grabs the ding-dong, shoves it in her face, and she looks like she's really enjoying it, and she's eating it in spite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spiteful eating.
Yeah.
She's hate eating.
Yep. So in that arc of family dynamic, we see a fissure growing.
Yep. We now have a point of conflict.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cut from here, though, to Gil. Now he's at work.
I assume it's a law firm.
It's I don't know. Talking about clients or some kind of salesy kind of thing. It never really said.
No, it doesn't.
But what was the partner part? Like, when I hear partner, I think law firm.
Well,
right?
there's a lot. I mean, you could also, there's marketing firms, you have partnerships, there's advertising firms.
True.
Lots of different kind of firms you put the names on.
Sure. Never really says. But Gil's thinking he's in line for the partnership.
And he's been there 8 years.
Yep.
He's the backbone.
But the partnership does not go to Gil.
No. Well, and he's talking to his boss. And there's a couple things about his boss that really caught my attention.
It's kind of slimy.
Well, he's super slimy, but number one, he's working on a treadmill while still wearing a shirt and tie.
Mm-hmm. And sweating through it. And it's kind of gross.
That's super gross.
Yeah.
And then the moment he gets off the treadmill, what does he do? Lights up a cigarette.
Right.
It's a me move.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 80s.
Yeah.
This is really coming out of left field. I've been here 8 years. I'm the backbone of the operation. I know that. If I don't get this partnership, I gotta think about going somewhere else.
I gotta tell you, Gil, I don't consider that a realistic idea.
Why?
You go somewhere else, you're gonna have to get in line behind guys who are younger than you, who've been there longer, who are more committed, and are willing to work for less money.
So his boss is actually threatening him, don't you quit, because you're not going to make it out there.
Yeah.
And there's some truth to that.
A little bit, but he's kind of talking out of his ass.
But at the same time, like, somebody else is going above him anyway at the firm he's at. So, maybe there's another firm out there that would appreciate him for what he's done as the backbone.
I assume Gil being a good guy, I assume he's good at his job.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but he's not flashy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, and this also brings up something that so he says he's been at the job for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of the movie, when we're in the flashback scene where with Kid Gil talking to the usher, he talked about how he's 35 years old. Do you buy Steve Martin as a 35-year-old in this movie?
No, he looks like he's 50.
I know.
But he's
in fairness, he kind of looked like he was 50 at the jerk.
Right, yeah.
I was going to say, he always looks like he's 50.
I think he popped out of the womb looking like he was 35.
Yeah. Because this is only a few years before he made Father of the Bride,
right?
Where he's definitely playing someone I would assume would be in his 40s or late 40s to 50s. And I think when I looked it up, he was like 40s, in his 40s at this time. Why did they choose 35?
I don't know.
He's Silver Fox.
But even at 35,
did you say Silver Fox?
Yeah, he's a Silver Fox. Yeah.
But even at 35, you would be it's not like you're past your prime in a professional environment.
Exactly. Go find the next place.
Yeah. All right. So Gil's boss is a douche.
Yep.
And from here, though, we go to Gil with Kevin, and now they're at the arcade. And Kevin wants to know why he has to go to a psychiatrist. And Gil does his best to explain, basically says, hey, you just worry about things.
Yeah.
I was the same way.
Sure.
And on one hand, I think he's trying to humanize or trying to relate.
Right. Be a good dad. And he says, hey, I think this is going to be the best summer ever.
Which, what a stupid thing to say.
Don't set that expectation.
No.
Ouch.
Best summer ever.
Mm-hmm.
Started off saying it's going to be the worst summer, you piece of shit. And then it can only get better from there.
I mean, that's set the bar low. You'll never be disappointed, and sometimes you'll be pleasantly surprised.
But I can see as a caring dad, he wants to try and get his kid through this anxiety.
He tried to do it as a motivator.
Yeah,
yeah. Manifest that shit, Kevin.
But this is where we also learn that Kevin has a birthday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And wants Cowboy Dan to be at the party.
Cowboy Dan.
Yeah. We'll leave that there for now. We'll come back to Cowboy Dan. We also then get a check-in with Frank and Cool. One of the few appearances we get of Cool in this movie.
Yeah.
Frank showing off his car to Cool. Again, we're learning fun facts about Frank's car.
First time I got laid was in a car. Story for another time.
Yeah, not for a 3-year-old.
He's older than 3, right?
I don't know. He was been gone for 3 years.
Well, he was gone for 3 years, and he said it was a couple years before that.
I thought it was about 5.
I was going to say it'd be at least 5 or 6.
I mean, still not an appropriate story for a 5-year-old.
Well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Probably talking about, laying carpet, laying some tile.
Sleeping.
Yeah. First time I laid down was in this car. But while he's talking to Cool, Larry gets thrown out of a passing car. When Frank wants to know
what the heck was that?
Yeah. Larry's response is, oh, just some friends dropping me off.
Friends? Friends slow down. They even stop.
I mean, when I drop you guys off, I stop.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's nice.
Because we're friends.
I mean, this last time you stopped a little hard, but
I didn't have to tuck and roll, though.
I mean, they slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so he gets
dropped him off in the right yard.
Right.
He gets thrown out of a moving vehicle. It's a limo, actually.
Those some highfalutin gamblers.
Right.
Yeah, but in this moment, Frank is starting to see Larry for who he is.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes are getting opened up that, hey, maybe
things aren't as they seem, and his words aren't correct.
But before we get too far into that, we go jumps across town. We go to Helen's house, where different cars pulling up. This time they do stop, because while they're not friends, they are the police.
It's a police car.
And they dropping Julie off.
Here she is.
Apparently she was busted for panhandling. She left Todd, but needed to get some money. And so she decided instead of coming home to collect coins on the side of the street. We find out that Todd apparently was going to start a house painting business, but instead decided to start drag racing with his brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Gary runs into the scene and then runs off almost immediately, again with the mystery brown paper bag in tow. Helen and Julie then bond over French fries and ice cream, and talking about how men are the worst.
What can you expect from a kid like that?
Mom, back off. The last guy you dated stole our furniture. Men are scum. I know, sweetie. Men are scum.
Men are scum.
Oh, but the problem is
Scare Bear was right around the corner.
Gary was right there coming down the hallway when they were talking about how men are scum, and that's gotta hurt.
And he's a little man.
He is a little man.
He's a wee guy,
And Helen's husband left her and doesn't want anything to do with Gary, so Gary's left with a hole in his life.
Mm-hmm.
He has no male influence
There's
whatsoever.
a hole in my heart that
Right?
can only be filled by
By you.
dudes.
Wholehearted by Extreme.
Wholehearted.
Great tune.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, I like that. Way to bring it back to life.
Yeah. Just as they're about ready to go off and have a bit of ice cream and French fries after this discussion, Todd, Single D Todd, shows up.
I thought I'd find you here.
What does that make you, Sherlock Holmes? I live here.
You live with me.
I wouldn't live with you if the world were flooded with piss and you lived in a tree.
Burn.
Excuse me, I'm going to the movie.
You're not leaving here until you hear what I have to say.
I'm not! God!
Julie,
you
come
told
on.
me!
Julie,
Let her go!
just listen to me.
God,
Julie,
no, let her go!
Julie.
God damn it! Let her go!
Please, Mrs. Buckman, I love her.
Let her go! God
Julie,
damn it!
you can't run out on me. You're my wife.
If you don't let her go, I'm gonna call the...
Oh, snap.
Oh, young love. Young love.
His wife.
Uh-oh.
And what I love is she goes from beating Todd with a newspaper to immediately
Mm-hmm.
beating Julie with a newspaper.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Man, Helen's going for a ride.
Yep.
Up and down that emotional roller coaster. From here, though, because we keep things moving in this movie, a lot of plots, we go to the ballpark where Gil and Kevin are at a Little League game.
And they need a second baseman.
Yeah, because while taking, practicing grounders, their starting second baseman takes apparently a ball to his face.
Yep, it happens.
A ball into his facial area.
Mm-hmm.
Let that sink in. He's a child. That's wrong.
It is wrong. Yeah, you're gross.
Yeah.
Can't believe you said that. So the team needs a second baseman.
Yeah, and Gil, being the great coach that he is, thinks that his super high-strung child should fill in at second base, despite not really being an experienced second baseman at all.
Why not?
Or
What could go wrong?
Or a decent athlete.
Yeah.
Which actually sets off some events that are hilarious.
Absolutely. And also in this scene, and I'm going to throw it out right now before I forget, we get some great cameos from Clint Howard.
Yes.
The go-to cameo guy of all Ron Howard's movies because they're brothers.
So he's a dad of another player on the team.
Douchebag Max.
Yes. Yep.
And man, I gotta say, like, parents who take Little League
This
way
seriously?
too seriously are the worst.
Oh, that was my life.
Like, parent, like, you've probably seen physical fistfights at baseball games between parents.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, it's
rid-
ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Even-
I was my son's Little League coach for years, and yeah, parents are the worst.
They are the worst.
Clint Howard, I'll give him credit. He is over the top and hilarious in everything I've ever seen him in.
So the Little League team is 1 out away from their first win.
Yeah, 1 out away from their first win. And Gil is just giving himself so much credit because he feels like he put Kevin in a position to succeed.
Yep.
And he's just fantasizing about how this step is going to put Kevin in the right direction. And he has this full-blown fantasy of Kevin's future and how he's going to end up becoming a valedictorian because of his excellent parenting.
Yep.
You know, when I was 9 years old, I had kind of a rough time. A lot of people thought I was pretty mixed up. But there was one person who got me through it. He did everything right.
Everything.
And thanks to him, today, well, I'm the happiest, most confident, and most well-adjusted person in this world.
Now,
What a good outcome.
I gotta say that Steve Martin's probably the easiest person to ever do like a future like forward skit
Because he looks the same?
He does. Like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it
you don't
cuts
have to
to
change
him,
much.
Cuts to him with his kid graduating as valedictorian, and he still has the white hair.
He might have actually looked a little bit younger.
Right.
All they did was add like a pencil mustache.
They
Does he have that Benjamin Buttons thing where he's aging in reverse?
Yeah.
Anyway,
so cut back to real life.
Cut back to real life, and their game's going on. There's a pop fly to Kevin.
Only 1 out left.
1 out left, and Kevin drops it, resulting in a loss for the team.
Yeah. And so we go to another fantasy cut.
It took a dark ass turn.
Oh, super dark.
It's Kevin Buckman! His father totally screwed him up! What's he yelling? You made me play second base!
So what he thought was a good parenting choice turned out to be a very bad parenting choice. And so from valedictorian, he's now the shooter in the watchtower.
Which is funny, like not funny. but like this was before like school shootings got
right.
Like they didn't happen yet, right? Or if they did, we didn't hear about them. But man,
it was kind of a really dark turn.
so big time, extreme.
And I think they just wanted to show the juxtaposition or the variance between the right parenting choice and the wrong parenting choice, and how things can go great and how things can go not great.
And how neurotic he is.
Yeah.
To think that this is what's going to happen because he made him play second base.
Right. And he dropped the fly ball.
This is a problem I've ran into with other movies we've talked about. Fast Times at Ridgemont High is probably the biggest example of
fantasy scenes.
Fantasy scenes in a movie that doesn't really need fantasy scenes.
Yeah.
Because this is our third fantasy scene in this movie. And Gil's the only one who lives in the fantasy land.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw, Gil as a kid at Busch Stadium. We've seen the valedictorian scene. Now we're seeing, the
watchtower, watchtower shooter
yeah.
scene.
And I know it provides some insight into Gil's neuroses and the fact that he is so tightly wound.
Yep.
But I feel like there's just, for a movie that's really built upon relatability.
This went outside the box.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And especially because there's so many different storylines going. It's like, yeah, Gil is the main character, but there's so many other stories that he's not really the main character. So why do you need to have flashbacks from Gil to try to drive him as the main character when you have 4 other separate stories going at the same time?
Yeah.
Unless everybody else had their own daydreams going on or whatever.
But again, you have plot A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and now you're throwing in fantasy 1, fantasy 2, fantasy 3, fantasy 4.
It becomes a lot.
It would, yeah.
So I think, in defense of the fantasy scenes, I think it goes to show Gil's want to be a good dad.
Sure.
And I think it's an example of each little decision you make as a parent could have fantastic or disastrous consequences.
Right.
So I saw the fantasy scenes as evidence of that. So I didn't mind it so much. I thought it really hit home that idea that one small decision can change the course of your kid's life, which is the anxiety from Gil. Really, that's not how it works.
Right, right.
But that's how he thinks it works.
Yeah.
So it really gave us a look into his mind about how he sees himself as a parent. So I didn't mind it so much. Yeah, it was a little out of place. Well, but I see what they were trying to do.
But my question here is, why does Gil need to get this extra explanation while his other parents in this movie don't?
And see, that's where I was going with that.
That's a good question.
Is you could have cut this down to an hour and a half and focused more on Gil and made him be the lead character and just had these kind of like side quests going on. If you really wanted it to be about Gil and his neurotic tendencies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, and I get what you're saying, but like, yeah, it didn't feel super out of place, but also at the same time, it's like we could have cut this down a little bit.
So this next scene that we go to is something I definitely did not understand when I was a kid. I don't know if I really understand it as an adult, but we start off with Nathan pouring water into Susan's diaphragm, checking for leaks.
When I was a kid, I had no clue what this was about.
What? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What is that?
So a diaphragm is a little cup device that covers the cervical opening to prevent sperm from reaching the cervix, which isn't, a birth control device. Yeah.
Which I learned about when I was a kid in sex ed, when I was a few years older and after I watched this movie. And I know what it is now. But what kind of neurotic a-hole pours water into a diaphragm to check for leaks?
Why are you pouring water through my diaphragm?
To check. To see if it's okay. You didn't know I did that, did you?
No.
Obviously not, or you wouldn't have tried this.
Are you accusing me of making that hole?
No, a woodpecker came in here, went into the bathroom, opened the drawer with his little wing, and pecked a couple of holes in your diaphragm.
Yeah, I think that this couple could benefit from some of the same things we've talked about with several couples in previous movies. They got to talk.
Yeah. Communication is the key. They could use some therapy.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what it comes down to is Susan is excited and interested in having a baby.
Right.
Nathan says that's against their plan.
Which was made years ago, but we all know as parents and in life, plans change.
Because when you're young, you're stupid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get slightly less stupid as you go along. But even at this point, they're probably pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're kind of at an impasse.
So there's more consternation in that relationship that's going on.
It's starting to build.
Mm-hmm.
Back over to Helen's house. Todd is living there now. Helen finds Todd shaving Julie's head in the bathroom. Seems
she did look pretty stupid. I know that's in future, but
Yeah.
I tell you, Helen's like the queen of one-liners in this movie.
She is.
She's great.
And Gary, he wants to know how long they're going to be living there.
It's getting pretty crowded here.
Oh, it's not so crowded. There's a lot more room since they shaved their heads.
Well, I was just thinking maybe I could stay with Dad for a while.
Oh boy, this hurts.
Yeah, and it's such a gut punch, even as a viewer.
Yeah.
Because from what we've heard, Gary's dad is a douche.
He is.
And Gary is just pining for some male influence in his life.
Right.
But from what we've learned in previous discussions between Helen and Karen, Gary's dad basically went off and started a new franchise. Has a new wife, new kids, new family. Won't even fix his other kids' teeth anymore.
Right. He's a dentist.
Gary doesn't even know his dad's phone number.
Yeah. There's no connection there.
Yeah.
Gary's
dad
isolated.
Gary's dad wants nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so Gary's at an age where he really is hungry for a male influence.
Right.
And it's almost like a cry for help. And Helen sees it. And while you could see that it hurts her.
It does.
But I know that Gary's even suggesting that I pull away from you to go to him. She's adult enough to understand that this is something he might need.
Right.
And she knows what the outcome's going to be before he even makes the phone call.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that breaks her heart even more.
Yeah. So when he does make the phone call, he calls him at work and says, I'm his son. And his dad thinks it's his other son.
Right. The new son.
And doesn't want to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
You didn't think it was such a good idea. Oh, sweetie. I gotta go.
Yeah, poor Gary, but also poor Helen. Like, she knew, but that was also one of those things, like, it's something that Gary had to experience himself.
She needed him to know.
She can't just, she could tell Gary all day long, your dad's a piece of shit. He's
want anything,
awful.
Doesn't want anything to do with you.
You're better off without him. He's not going to believe it until he hears it on his own.
You had to experience things for yourself, even if it's painful.
Right. Yep.
And she knows that.
Yeah, this was a real poignant moment.
It was.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the most powerful moment of the movie.
I kind of agree with you.
And this is, again, where you get to know the character. Mm-hmm. Because up to this point, Gary, he's just aloof and apathetic. And
he's a
little creeper, a little pre-trench coat mafia.
Right.
But yeah, this moment you feel him. You see the pain. You see the anguish.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's tangible.
And what a great job.
Yeah.
By Leaf.
Yeah, for sure. He did a great job.
Joaquin,
especially as a kid.
Yeah. As a child actor, he conveyed a lot of emotion in that scene.
And the interaction between him and Diane Wiest was powerful.
It was. Yep.
So from here we go to, thankfully, something with a little bit of a lighter tone.
Uh-huh.
Kevin's birthday party.
Oh, this was fun.
This is my favorite part of the movie.
The kids are so excited for Cowboy Dan. He's not there yet, so they've got a backup plan.
Let's go watch the horse shit. Yeah!
We see moments of various different moments from the different members of the family. Susan wants Patty to go play with Justin, who is spinning and doesn't really understand why. Susan says, because it's fun.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though Nathan thinks, well, that's just stupid. But Nathan's a turd at this point. We also find out that Susan kind of tells Nathan that Patty's just a weird kid.
I think a few days a week of preschool could be very helpful.
This is not the right age for Patty to be socially activated. We went
She's
through
not a bum. She's a little kid who has no ability to relate to other little kids.
You want her to relate to him?
Help, help, help!
That's when his head was stuck in the lawn chair.
We also get a good moment, or a very interesting moment, between Susan and Karen, who are kind of talking in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And we learn a little bit more about the sexual history between Susan and Nathan.
Boy, he really turned me on.
Really? I mean, of course, really?
Oh, Nathan, I used to be hot. I know he doesn't look it, but I mean, we were like rabbits. I used to give him, oral, on the highway.
What?
Yeah.
No job.
This is a little foreshadowing.
Yep.
But my favorite part of that is when she was like, boy, he really turned me on. And she goes, really?
Right? I mean, it's Rick Moranis.
Right.
Has he really? I don't know.
Has he turned on anyone ever?
He must have, but
him and Janine and Ghostbusters 2 seem to be
into it. Yeah, she did. But yeah, hard to see him as a sex symbol.
Yeah.
Right.
But the entertainment for the party shows up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not quite what they thought it would be.
Nope.
Who are you and what are you going to do?
I'm for party time entertainment. I'm your stripper. What's the birthday boy's name? Because I painted across my breast.
I think at this point, Kevin probably could have used a stripper.
Yeah. So the entertainment company made a mistake, and instead of sending the balloon animal making Western man, they send a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Gil promised Kevin Cowboy Dan on his birthday.
Yeah.
And now, through unforeseen circumstances, he's not coming.
So what do we get instead?
Cowboy Gil.
Howdy, partner.
You're Kevin's father. You're not Cowboy Dan.
That's right. They call me Cowboy Gil. As in, guilty.
Guilty of killing Cowboy Dan.
All right.
I love the
Slipping around
guts.
in his
Blew a
guts.
hole in him this big.
No.
And his guts spilled out all over.
Right.
And I was slipping on the guts.
And the kids, those boys were eating it up.
Yeah, they were having a ball.
They were.
And Gil has chaps made out of looked like a bath mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spurs made out of pizza cutters.
Yep.
And, just launches into an onslaught of squirt gun warfare with the kids.
And they loved it.
And absolutely, they all had a great time.
What a good dad moment to save the birthday.
Right.
My favorite is when he was trying to make balloon animals.
He had no clue what he was
no
doing.
clue what he's doing. Like, what is that? And it's like, it's your small intestines.
Right.
And the kids loved it.
And, at this point, it was whenever I thought about it, I'm like, man, is there anything better than Steve Martin in his prime?
Right.
I mean, this is really, we're getting peak Steve Martin.
Yeah, this is vintage Steve Martin right here.
And you could see that, I could see that this entire thing with the water guns and everything, it was just Steve Martin having a good time. And it came across that way, and it made you feel good and have a good time with him.
And you could see that it made him feel good because he saved the day.
Right.
The kids weren't worried about the guy who was supposed to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having a blast with Cowboy Gil.
Right.
Yeah. And Cowboy Gil goes the extra mile. I mean, he comes riding in on the horse, carrying the birthday cake.
Yep.
Delivering it, makes his grand escape, leaping over some shrubs,
right,
falling off the horse, but gets up and everybody cheers.
Yep. And limps away.
Yep.
Well, I gotta be moseying on back to Abilene. Keep your powder and your pants dry.
I mean, strong advice.
Sure.
And everyone has a great time. And Kevin definitely is feeling the love.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin returns that love to Gil that night. And we had this tender moment between the two.
That was very
that
sweet.
tuck-in time.
Yep.
Dad, when I grow up, Can I work where you work?
Why?
That way, we can still see each other every day.
That's so sweet.
That was sweet. That was a very sweet moment. That was touching.
From here, though, we go to something a little bit darker again.
Mm-hmm.
Because this movie keeps switching it up. we see a dentist's office.
Yeah.
Where things are just getting smashed to hell.
With a hammer.
With a hammer. Photos are being broken. Things are being busted. We don't know who's doing it.
Well, but we can guess.
Yeah, you might have a clue.
There's somebody who called their real dad, who was a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad said he really didn't want to do anything with him.
Yeah. Right.
So this young teen got a little bitter.
Yeah. And we'll come back to that in a moment. Because, at Helen's house, she's now looking for Gary. Finds he's not there, but she does find his room with a padlock. And she decides that enough is enough. She pries it open with a crowbar and is searching through his room. While she's searching, she finds the mysterious paper bag hidden inside his closet.
Okay, before she found the paper bag and she looked under the bed, did you guys notice what was under the bed?
What was it?
A bunch of wadded up tissues.
Oh, I did not notice that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. So I knew what was coming, even though I've seen the movie before. But this time I noticed all the wadded up tissues under the bed.
Well, inside the paper bag, she finds a bunch of VHS tapes, which seemed pretty innocuous initially. There's Back to the Future and a few other popular films from the time. But when she picks up one of the boxes, the tape falls out and discovers that it's not Back to the Future.
What was it?
It's hardcore porn.
Do you remember the name? It was like Wet, Wild, and Ready.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So she pops the tape into the VCR and she's watching it.
To see what it was.
Just as Susan and Grandma come walking into the house.
Okay, footnote. I love Grandma.
Yeah,
Grandma's the best.
Grandma's awesome.
Grandma had also one of the best moments, I thought, at the birthday party.
When I was born, Bill McKeever was president.
Yeah, Grandma's sucking up the helium.
Yeah,
right.
There should be more old ladies with helium.
Right.
Anyway, Susan and Grandma come walking into the house. Then Gary comes in, all pissed off because they're in his room. Helen says that she thought he might be on drugs because of what he did to his dad's office. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything to his office. And she's like, they found the hammer. You had burned your initials into the handle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's one of those things that's always kind of like, even when I was a kid, I'm like, who burns their initials into a hammer? And why does this kid have his own hammer?
What? I burned my initials into my skateboard.
I could see that. Yeah.
With a magnifying glass.
Maybe he really loved that hammer.
Maybe he just really loved burning things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, who doesn't?
I mean, it seems, but regardless, it seems like kind of a jump.
Right. He left, I don't know, evidence at the crime scene.
They had to
if you love that hammer so much, you put your initials on it. Why'd you leave it behind, Gary?
Yeah, you want to take it with you.
Gare Bear is just a bad criminal.
Yeah, so Helen's processing a lot in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Her son is a vandal. Her son's watching hardcore porn.
Mm-hmm.
Her son's dad is a douche.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I gotta give her kudos. She's handling it
better than I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
But as it comes down to it, she comes to realize that, this is a kid who's just got a lot going on and is in need of a male role model.
And is there a male role model available?
Enter Todd.
Enter T.O.D.
T.O.D. comes walking in.
The unlikely hero.
Yeah. And, so they go off and talk. We find out, through, Todd catching Helen up with the conversation. What's been going on with Gary?
A few months ago, Gary got his first boner. You know what that is?
Memory serves.
Oh, great. Anyway, since then, he's been, slapping the salami. No offense.
No
For
offense.
flogging the dolphin.
Apparently, he's going for a world record.
So Todd has the conversation with Gary.
Todd has a conversation with Gary. And there's also, beyond the fact that in this moment we find out there's been some bonding between Gary and Todd, this also opens up some bonding opportunities between Helen and Todd.
Yeah.
And part of it is I think we get to see a bit of a softening of the relationship, largely because we learn more about who Todd is as a character. And part of his issue is his relationship that he had with his male authority figure.
Right.
You need a license to buy a dog or drive a car. Hell, you need a license to catch a fish. But they'll let any butt-reaming asshole be a father.
Boy.
Butt-reaming asshole.
That, if you can read between the lines there, that's a real poignant quote.
It is.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Good on you, Todd.
Back over at Frank's house, he goes out to check out his beloved car, but it's missing.
Gone.
Yeah.
Who do you think took it?
Cool.
Not cool. That's not cool.
He wants to get laid for the first time in that car.
He heard he get laid in that car.
He's 5.
I mean, come on. Grandpa was talking to him like an adult.
I think the better bet is that it's Larry.
You're probably right. From here we go to some Chuck E. Cheese type location. It's not Chuck E. Cheese, but damn, it's close to it.
Could be Showbiz.
Creepy
Might
as
be.
it was.
Where we find out some punk ass kid took Kevin's quarters, and Gil and Frank then argue about how to handle it. I think Frank thinks he should just go murder the child.
Yeah.
And take the quarters back. But Gil thinks that might be an overreaction.
A little bit.
This is like, I'd just stop inviting my dad places.
I know.
Stop the misery. Don't invite him. It's
You're not
fine.
gonna have a good time here anywhere, Dad.
Right. Dad's kind of a downer.
Keep your ass home.
You stay home.
But then Kevin just has a complete meltdown when he realizes that he lost his retainer, and he just completely loses his shit. Gil and Karen are searching through the trash trying to find it.
I'm not doing that. I'm not digging through a restaurant dumpster to try to find a retainer.
They say the retainer was $200, and back in '89, that was a lot of money.
I get it, but I'm not.
And Karen does say if it was $200, you would look for it.
Right.
So, but they're looking, and in this process, there's a bit of catharsis going on as well.
Let's face it, he's getting worse.
He has his good days and he has his bad days.
Why is he so high-strung? He's like a poodle. Everything's blown out of proportion. Where does he get this obsessive behavior?
As he's rubbing his hands raw underneath the water.
Right.
I wish I knew.
Karen calls him out. It's like, what did you think? You're going to coach his baseball team, and you're going to throw a birthday party, and suddenly he'd be fixed. And initially, Gil's like, no, that's not what I thought. But then he comes around. He's like, yes, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, again, it goes back to the 4 months. You think you're going to fix this kid in 4 months? Like, come on.
Yeah.
But you know what? Gil really wants to. He really wants to.
He wants to.
Yeah, he wants. And it's not going to happen.
No,
and that's
it's
not how you fix things,
Right.
and that's not how you address it. But the want is there.
It's not a lack of desire.
Right.
It's just a lack of realism.
Exactly.
But eventually, don't know if they ever find the retainer, but eventually they're on the way home, and Gil is just so tense. And he's so stressed out.
Very tense.
And we find Karen reminiscing back to her conversation with Susan about how Susan used to relax Nathan. And she decides to do that for Gil.
Yep.
Which has mixed results.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
It's all right, honey. It was my fault. You just kind of took me by surprise. So, how'd this happen? Show him, honey.
So here's what I thought was funny. Like, she's getting ready to give him some roadhead.
Yeah.
And she takes off her seatbelt and proceeds to do it. They get in a wreck. She's the one that took her seatbelt off, but Gil has the bloody forehead.
Right.
Like, she's totally fine. I thought that was great.
That was funny.
Yeah. We go back to Frank's house, and Frank finds Larry sneaking back into the garage with his car. Larry claims that he was getting the car appraised, but needed the paperwork to get the job done. But Frank is like, fucking bullshit.
I'm not a schmuck.
Mm-mm.
You were going to sell my car.
Yeah, he was.
Douche.
Look, don't bullshit me anymore. It belittles us both.
And then Larry claims that, they're going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost a lot of money gambling.
Yep.
It was $26,000.
Ooh, that's a lot.
And apparently took the previous $3,000 he got to the track. And
to try to make it there into 26.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Parlay.
We then go back to Nathan and Susan's house. Nathan is now doing flashcards with Patty, quizzing her on the periodic table of elements.
Yeah.
Because that's pertinent information for a 6-year-old.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Susan shows up and she
made some flashcards.
She made her own flashcards, and she wants Nathan to review them. It's a bit of a sidebar.
Yeah.
This is the only way I can get your attention. Honey, this is really basic stuff. She's way beyond this. I'm leaving you. You're leaving me?
There you go.
She's had enough.
Yeah, we're kind of getting to that client or that point of conflict in all our storylines right now.
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And that kind of continues back at Helen's house. While many things kind of feel like they've started to resolve in terms of like a relationship with Gary and Todd now being buddies, Helen's actually coming home with a date from Gary's biology teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then shit goes and just hits the fan again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because we find out that Todd's getting back into drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
Julie confronts him because she found a helmet in the car, and Todd then storms out, and Julie drops a bombshell about being pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Lots of stuff.
Things are just falling apart everywhere.
And continues over at work for Gil because he found out he didn't get the partnership despite dazzling the boss.
Mm-hmm.
I quit. Oh, Gil. Forget it. Phil brought you some big clients. You're happy.
Gil.
I'm just going to call my clients, give them the news, and I'm out of here. Friday's my last day. Don't make me a party.
Gil.
Dave.
Dave.
Gil, baby, no.
So Gil goes home and filling Karen in with the news. I can't say that she takes it particularly well.
And there's a reason why.
Yep.
Did you say anything that would make it difficult for them to take you back?
Jesus, honey, I was hoping you'd be a little more supportive. It's not like
I'm pregnant.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Baby number 4.
Yeah. And this then follows up with some not so great moments for Gil.
Right.
They kind of debate and argue, and Gil's kind of like, well, whatever you think is fine with me. And she's like, well, I want to have the baby. And she's like, well, that's just great. And it's just,
I don't think at that moment there was any right answer for Gil.
No.
The stress is just palpable and piling up on him.
Well, that's the difference between men and women. Women have choices, men have responsibilities.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, then I choose for you to have the baby, okay? That's my choice. You have the baby. You get fat. You breastfeed till your nipples are sore. I'll go back to work.
I don't know. Maybe she shouldn't have dropped the pregnancy bomb on the same day that
he quit his job.
Like not an opportune time.
Well,
yeah, but he, I don't know. He
again, this is that lack of communication.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if this was even in the cards of something he might be thinking, if I don't get this partnership, I'm going to quit my job. That should have been a convo.
It should have been.
And yeah, I mean, I could see where maybe she's like, just kind of like, okay, this is going on. I don't really know. I don't want to get my overly stressed out husband more stressed out and get his wheels turning until we're farther along.
I thought we were about to turn into Mr. Mom.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, I'll go back to work. You just stay at home with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, it could have definitely gone that way.
It could have gone in that direction, yeah.
But no, she's pregnant. That's not going to happen. But Gil ultimately can't stick around to have the conversation because he has got to get to Little League.
Yep, they got another game.
Yep, and while he's there, Frank shows up, wants to talk to Gil. He needs advice about Larry.
This is a poignant moment too.
There is.
Where Frank asks Gil for parenting advice.
Yep. And along the way, basically says, I want to talk to you because, I've been a bad dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that pause. And he's like, thanks for not disagreeing with me.
Right.
Part of it is we get into a little bit of backstory in this moment between Frank and Gil when Gil was a kid. And Gil apparently had polio, or they thought he might have polio.
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment, I think this is where we see a bit of the
humanness of Frank.
The humanness of Frank, but also maybe the seeds of the anxiety that Gil grew up with.
Sure.
I hated having to go through that. Caring, worrying, pain. It's not for me. And it's not like that all ends when you're 18 or 21 or 41 or 61. It never ends. It's like your Aunt Edna's ass. It goes on forever and it's just frightening.
Well, yeah, I guess he probably shouldn't have ever had a family then.
Yeah.
He goes on to say something that's pretty important too, which surprised me from Frank. Where he talks about there is no goal line.
Mm-hmm.
That when you're a parent, you're always a parent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether your kid, like he said, is, whatever age, that there is no goal line. There's no touchdown dance. You don't spike the ball. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gil empathizes.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually even, tells his dad, it's like, who's to say we're not both shitty dads? I mean, Kevin's in therapy. Taylor got to call to the principal's office for kissing the boys. Justin keeps ramming his head into everything.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love is there's this moment of tenderness between the two of them.
Yep.
You worry too much. You always did.
And then Frank goes on his merry way.
Yep.
Which brings us to the baseball game. And of course, emotions are riding high from our previous visits to the ballpark where Kevin dropped the pop fly.
Yep.
Clint Howard is in full effect, barking at his douchebag kid.
They're 1 out away from a win again.
1 out away from a win.
Yep.
Almost so like a play-by-play replay of the previous iteration. But Clint Howard tells his kid, no matter where that ball goes, you go to it. You're our only chance. And, douchebag little kid's going to do it because he's a little douchebag kid.
Right.
And so sure enough,
because he has a douchebag dad.
Yeah. Pop fly.
To right field.
Right to Kevin. And as Kevin is going to catch it, douchebag Max plows into him.
Mm-hmm.
Ball goes flying out of Kevin's glove.
Pops out of the glove.
And while they're on the ground, Kevin sees the ball, reaches out, catches it, makes the out.
They win the game.
Day. They win the game.
He's the hero.
Everyone's excited. Gil dances across the field like a complete moron.
The team mobs Kevin, as when he dropped the ball last time, they all shunned him.
Mm-hmm.
But now he made the catch.
He did.
And they mob him. And his dad is so proud.
He's the hero of the day.
Yeah.
That's all he ever wanted.
He wanted to see his son succeed,
and
his son did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In another father and son moment, we have Frank and Larry together.
Mm-hmm.
Frank agrees to help Larry deal with his bookie debt.
$26,000.
$26,000. But he has some conditions. First, you're going to talk to the bookies and get them to agree to only paying them $1,000 a month. They're businessmen. They'll understand. A little something is better than nothing. Larry will then come to work with Frank and learn the plumbing supply business. And in a few years, when Frank retires, Larry will take over the business. Larry agrees, except for one little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just add a wrinkle. About an hour ago, I got a phone call from an associate in Chile. Big opportunity. Platinum. Now, why don't I just toddle off down there for a couple of months, see if it pans out. If it does, great. If not, we put the Frank Buckman plan into effect. Sound good? Sure.
That sure said it all, didn't it?
It did.
Great.
Sure.
Frank knew.
Oh, I could use a little
2,000 enough?
ample.
Man, Frank just
Ample.
tosses out money to that kid.
He's buying them off. He wants to get rid of them.
Yep. He's paying him to go away.
Because he gave him an opportunity to do this. I will help you. You go straight. We'll get your shit taken care of. And, and his response was basically to say, fuck you.
I want to go chase this quick money scheme. down
Which
in Chile.
probably didn't exist.
In Chile.
In Chile.
In Chile.
And, so then Larry's gone. Other than one other little detail that Larry kind of forgot about. His son, Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's Cool gonna do?
And Frank's like, well, we'll just keep him here. And he talks to Cool about this, and he's like, tells him his dad's leaving and won't be coming back, but you can stay here. And Cool's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Cool now has a good home.
He does. And Frank knows what his son is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
So from here we go to the high school where Susan works.
Mm-hmm.
And
she had left her husband.
Left Nathan.
Yep.
Nathan shows up at the school, though, and wants to compromise, says he can change. Susan says, he's not capable of change. And she goes into the classroom, and she's starting to do her class teaching stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Nathan comes into the classroom, and he serenades her with his rendition
birds
of Close to
suddenly appear
every time you are near. Just like me, they want to be close to you.
So Rick Moranis was actually an accomplished singer.
Was he?
He was a classically trained singer.
Okay. Well, he's not bad.
No, I didn't quite come across in this a cappella version of that tune.
Right.
But yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that he was classically trained.
Yeah. Multi-talented dude.
I mean, the only other singing I can remember from ever hearing of him was the 12 Days of Christmas with Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Oh, yeah.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a beer. A beer in a tree. Anyway. But they smooch.
Yeah, he serenades her. He gets to the front of the class. The kids clap. They smooch.
It's so dreamy.
You kind of made up with the wife.
So we close that book.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're
All right.
good. From here we go to the racetrack. Todd's getting ready for his first drag race.
Yes.
And Gary's super excited. He's basically in his pit crew or something.
So
and
this is the part that I thought they really could have done without. They're like, hey, Gary, how's it looking? He's like, looking hot, looking damn hot. And then he takes a drag off a cigarette.
Yeah,
and I was
what
like,
the hell?
We could have done without that entire interaction.
Yeah.
That added nothing.
It didn't.
Why do you now smoke?
Right. You might as well done a shot of whiskey while you're at it.
Exactly. And then beat his girlfriend. Just popped her right in the eye.
Yeah, I thought that was a little different. I know they did that to show the dramatic shift and change in Gary.
Right.
We didn't quite have to go that far.
Yeah, that was a little drastic.
Yeah.
So Todd's in his first race, and it could go better.
Turns out Todd's not a good drag
No.
racer.
He crashes.
What is it? The problem with his driving, or maybe his brothers just built a shitty car.
I mean, could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brothers seem kind of shady.
But watching him, he was like going back and forth on that wheel like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you drive.
I don't know if he just couldn't control it.
Well,
Maybe.
in a drag race, you're going straight. great.
It's nice, a straight line, and he seemed to be steering a lot.
Yeah, it was gyrating left and right all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have gone better.
Yeah, it could have.
Did I win?
No.
You okay?
I'm all right. Well, we'll get you to first aid. Make sure, all right? My brother's car. I killed the car. We'll take care of it.
Julie, come on, let's go. I can't. What? I can't. This is too intense. This is marriage. Now let's get in the truck. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Can you do that again next week? The crowd loved it.
Yeah, sure. That's a good job for me. Crash dummy.
Stop that. You're very important.
Yeah, why?
Why? Because you're going to be the father of my grandchild. That's why.
Look at her go.
Yeah, because Julie's knocked up.
Nope. I love Helen.
Yep.
Helen's pretty.
She is great.
She's pretty great.
Yeah, and this
she just takes what comes and makes the best out of it.
She does.
You know,
she's always present.
She sure is.
Yeah.
And so she brings these two, Julie and Todd, back together.
Mm-hmm.
Basically tells me, you're in this together. You got a baby on the way. Get your shit together and just be decent.
Yeah.
And Gary, who has been, all kinds of things throughout this movie,
but ever present, the great observer,
has seen this. And it's like, you saved their marriage. And I love this. Like, yeah, I give him 6 months, 4 months if she cooks.
Right.
And she's like, well, if you didn't think they're going to last, why'd you bring them together? And I thought it was very poignant. It's like, because she loves Todd and I love my kids and I want to do things to help you get the things you want.
Yep.
And yeah, she doesn't know if they're a forever match, but they are going to be forever connected.
Right.
And understands that. And, wants to do what she can to help them along.
Helen at the beginning seems so kind of meek and kind of victim.
Yeah.
But she's a little bit wiser than I first gave her credit for.
She kind of commanded the movie in a very subtle way.
I can't disagree with that.
You what?
I can't disagree with that. I think you're right.
So, she became the main character without overtly being the main character.
Sure.
I think she had the best arc and the best storyline.
Yeah, I thought she did an amazing job.
Yeah. From here, though, we go back to Gil and Karen getting kids ready to go to Taylor's play. She's going to be playing Dopey in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Gil, I think's, still processing how he was such a dick previously. And he tells Karen that he loves her. And she's like, that's nice. And he's like, no, I love you. And, tells her that he got his job back. But he's still concerned about having a fourth kid, largely because he doesn't want to screw up a fourth kid, kind of like how his dad screwed up Larry, who was the fourth kid in his family. And we get this moment with Grandma, who has been floating around throughout this movie.
Love Grandma.
And she just drops
a wisdom bomb.
Oh.
When I was 19, Grandpa took me on a roller coaster.
Oh?
Up, down, up, down. Oh, what a ride.
What a great story.
And Gil doesn't get it.
Not yet.
Because at this point, he still thinks Grandma's just talking about a roller coaster.
Right.
But, he's not understanding that this is actually a metaphor for love and for marriage and family and parenting.
Yeah.
And, so they go off to the play.
My favorite line after she gives the quote is like, oh, yeah, well, if she's so smart, why did she get in the neighbor's car?
But they go to the play. And as they're sitting there watching, this horrible rendition of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, it's bad.
The littlest member of the family, little old Justin,
little old me,
sees his sister Taylor being pushed around by the other dwarves.
Which was part of the play.
Right,
but he didn't understand that.
No, he didn't.
They're hurting my sister.
Hey, look, he's going. Get him. Get him.
Get him. Justin. Give us Mama and Justin. Hey.
So Justin rushes on stage to defend his sister's honor.
And hilarity ensues.
Complete chaos.
The sets are being knocked over. He's headbutting all the other dwarves.
I love the moms in the crowd saying, he's ruining the play.
Right. It was not good from the beginning.
No.
I don't like anybody likes a play.
No, and
terrible.
But Gil sees this, sees all the chaos that's going on. And in this moment, the metaphor from Grandma clicks.
The roller coaster.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there watching it, feeling the roller coaster. He's hearing the roller coaster.
The ups and the downs. Yep.
And I love it because Helen's enjoying it. Like,
Yeah.
she's got a smile on her face, and she's just
You mean Karen?
going. Karen, yeah. Karen's just going with it. And she's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Like, shit happens.
Yeah.
Right. She's laughing.
The wheels have come off. Let's just roll with it.
Right.
And Gil hates it. Like, he's about
does.
to lose his lunch.
Until he comes around.
Yep.
And then he starts to smile and he starts to laugh.
And he turns and he looks at her.
Yep.
And he starts laughing too.
Yep. And then he puts his hand on her belly.
Yep.
He just gives her a look. And that single look says, I get it.
Yep.
I'm on board.
We're going to be okay.
Let's do this thing. And from here,
yes, we go to the final scene.
we go to the final scene of the movie.
Cow.
The delivery room.
Yes.
Oh, the delivery.
We don't know who the mom is because they hide it.
But we assume it's Gil having his fourth kid.
Right.
Or it could be Julie.
Or it could be Julie.
Yeah.
Right.
Here comes the baby. Good. Here it is. It's a girl. Good. Congratulations, Mom.
Beautiful. Wonderful. You'd better get out in the lobby, Dad. I think you've got about 100 relatives out there.
What a twist.
So the mystery dad, whoever it might be, leaves.
Goes to the waiting room.
Yeah, and we still know, could it be Gil? Could it be Todd? Nope.
It's
Gary's biology teacher.
It is.
It's Helen's baby.
And Helen was the mom. We see, Susan, she's pregnant. She's in the waiting room. We see Julie and Karen. They both have their babies. The whole family's getting bigger. Lots of love, lots of babies.
Everybody has a baby.
Everyone celebrates.
Sure.
So many babies.
So many.
And the genius baby is wearing a little antenna headband.
Yeah, sitting on his shoulders.
Right. She's allowed to be a kid, not a genius.
Yep.
Yep.
So we see in this moment, life is moving on. Things
is.
are doing good. And, Frank starts handing out cigars to everybody in the group.
Even Grandma gets a cigar.
Grandma gets a cigar. And then, and honestly, the one moment that probably does not, that of all the moments you could say don't hold up, this is possibly the least holding up moment of the entire movie.
Yeah, I know where you're
Frank pulls down the no smoking sign and lights us up a cigar.
Yeah. Yeah, no hospital's going to let that happen.
No.
But hey, this is movie.
We get lots of additional shots of family cuteness. And then in the end, that's the movie.
In scene.
It's over. So yeah, that's Parenthood.
So all of these family dynamic arcs that were going on, to good or to the bad, they all found resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And what I liked about the ending was it was a bit open-ended, but at this moment in time, everybody was on a good track.
Yeah.
Not to say that they can't fall back off the track, because we know as parents and families how quickly that can happen.
It can.
But, Frank and his wife were lovey-dovey, and they had Cool, and Cool looked like he was doing good. Obviously Helen having the new baby with her new husband, the biology teacher. Gary was there. He was excited about it. Todd, with their new baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything looked to be great for everybody. But not that it was going to stay that way.
No, it's not perfect.
Right.
That's life.
But at this moment in time, it was probably as perfect as it could get.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Take the wins when you can get them.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
No matter how small.
All right. Now, there's a few things I want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I feel like this is a fairly relatable and believable movie.
Mm-hmm.
Are there moments to you that stand out as, I don't know if I can quite buy that?
There were a couple for me.
What do you got?
When Frank asked Gil for parenting advice,
Mm-hmm.
the character I knew of Frank through the first 4/5 of the movie did not strike me as somebody who would ask one of his children for parenting advice.
Okay.
Because he was a shitty dad, and he admitted so.
Yeah.
So that struck me as a little bit off that he would have done that.
The only thing that made that feel believable is that there was such a I think a 180 on his connection with Larry.
Sure.
And Larry was kind of the prodigal son, and definitely felt like Larry was cut out of a similar cloth, and he related to Larry, and he was all in. You're going to piss with the big boys. You need to dress like it. And all he was bought in on the get rich quick mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I think when he may have realized that he was wrong about Larry, I think it may have given him a bit of an existential moment where he had to question a lot of his parenting.
Sure.
Maybe, or I could just be giving him a lot more credit than he deserves.
Well, that surprised me that happened. The other thing is, I don't really think we got any closure to Gil's son, Kevin, and his anxiety.
Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. There was like none.
Mm-hmm. No. You saw that Gil tried his hardest.
What you got was what he was hoping for.
Uh-huh.
He does good in baseball, and now his anxiety is just cured.
Yeah,
right.
And
that's what happened.
And that's a fairy tale.
He got a good moment, but that isn't going to suddenly make whatever issues he has going on go away.
Right.
But the rest of the movie after that catch,
things were okay with Kevin.
Kevin's pretty all right.
We didn't really see Kevin other than briefly in the delivery. Lobby.
God forbid he loses his retainer again.
Yeah,
going to a tailspin.
Hey,
so
Kevin, just go
I
catch
thought
a baseball.
I thought that didn't get tidied up. That arc or that story. But as far as the other family dynamics, yeah, I thought they were relatable. I thought they were fairly real. Could happen. Yeah, what struck you, Justin, as things that were a bit unbelievable?
I don't know. I think maybe. Oh, what's his name? Gary. I don't have anything. I don't know. I thought most of it was pretty relatable and pretty believable.
I think one of the things you're trying to mention, and I kind of agree, is I think Gary came out of his shell a little bit too easy.
I don't know if I'd say he came out of his shell too easy. Again, we don't necessarily know how much time is being passed through these different things, and having that you could definitely there's it's just human nature. Sometimes you just connect with someone and things come easy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he did connect with Todd because he just had never had that older adult figure
and connected with mom's new husband, the biology teacher.
And that's that. But that right there, that's the part that I find the most unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just some random dude that mom started dating. This is his biology teacher.
Yep.
I have a hard time imagining a teenage kid, being okay with his mom dating / boinking one of their teachers.
Well, he referenced it a little bit earlier in the movie where he said, "Mom, I'm glad you're dating Mr. So-and-so."
I know he said that, and that's where it became very unbelievable for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, because he might even feel that if he's dating a nice guy. But the fact that that's one of his teachers, I think that's just a weird line that I don't know I don't know if a teenager would be able to process that so maturely.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that.
Especially a kid with emotional problems.
Yeah.
But maybe he really liked that teacher.
So where I was going with that was when Gary trashed his dad's dental office.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, because nothing ever happened.
Right.
Like, they knew it was his. But you also have a dad, he doesn't know his dad's phone number. Work or home phone number. His dad wanted nothing to do with him, but he never had a consequence to it.
No. Well, that we saw.
There was, right. I mean, it was never, it was like, then why even have that in there? If you're not going to show any sort of consequence whatsoever, then what point did that make to the story?
Yeah, I think it goes to show Gary's angst against his real dad.
But I mean, couldn't a phone call and the crying afterwards, like,
it could suffice?
Could have been enough to me.
The fact that he took a hammer to his office.
I think you had to have a moment that basically caused Helen to cross the threshold to break into Gary's room. So there had to have been something severe enough for her to do that.
Well, to me, as a parent, if my kid were to screw a locking mechanism on the outside of their door,
that's not happening.
My permission, that's enough for me to unscrew it and get in there anyway and be like, what the fuck are you hiding?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
this is
I
my
remember,
house.
I remember as a dad, there was a time where I flirted with taking the doors off the kids' rooms.
Yeah.
Just taking them off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take things a different direction.
All right.
So we know what Helen had hidden in her nightstand. What do you think other members of the Buckman family had stashed in theirs? What do you think Gil had in his nightstand?
Xanax.
I was getting ready to say the same thing.
I similar, but I think he had probably no fewer than 3 varieties of antacid.
Okay.
How about Frank?
Frank.
I think he had like a magazine of old 1950s pinup girls.
Okay.
I could see that. I could also
next to his classic car catalog.
I think he probably has some form of flask.
I was gonna say tiny bottles of booze,
or tiny bottle, or some small bottle of booze, and probably like a classic car calendar from like 1976.
Gotcha.
How about Larry? What does Larry have in his nightstand?
Heroin.
Yeah, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. I was gonna say
just enough to kill you, because when the bookies come running, he's gonna go out the fun way.
I was gonna say it's gonna be tickets from the racetrack that didn't cash in.
I would say horse racing forms or old tickets from the racetrack.
Yeah.
What about Nathan? What does Nathan have in his nightstand?
National Geographic or Scientific American, popular mechanics,
popular science.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going GIMP mask.
Oh,
because he's so controlling, like in the real life. Like, I bet he likes to be dominated in the bedroom.
Oh,
going GIMP mask. Yep. Maybe a ball gag.
Oh, Rick Moranis.
I think he's got a stack of index cards and a Sharpie marker, ready to make up backup flashcards on the fly, as well as a thesaurus.
Okay.
I could see it. I could see
the ball gag.
Yeah,
as
I was
well.
going to say
I hadn't thought that way, but I could see it.
I could see all 3 of us being right there.
Yeah. What is in Gary's nightstand?
Oh, just so much porn. Just all the porn.
I don't know if it's going to be the porn. I think it might be a bottle of Lubriderm.
Or maybe
I would say Jergens.
Sour Patch Kids. That's his guilty pleasure. The rest of it's out in the closet.
And a couple of those packets of travel tissues.
I'm going a bottle of Jergens and a crusty gym sock.
Oh.
Okay.
Gross, Gary. Gotta wash that from time to time.
All right, and last one.
Yep.
What's in Todd's nightstand?
Ooh. not condoms.
No.
I'm going to say a disposable camera.
I'm with you.
A U.S. drag racing mag. Maybe a autographed John Force picture. And some Dunkin' Donuts coupons.
And to add to that, I'm going to say a dime bag of weed.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seth?
I was going to say an In-N-Out Burger wrapper, but I realized that's only not in Florida, certainly not in quote unquote St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably some fast food wrapper.
Okay. Hardee's.
A lug nut for some reason. And I'm with you. I think there's a bag of weed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a little dime bag for Todd.
He's got it.
A dirty pinch hitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe dug out.
Yep.
Haven't been cleaned out in too long. It's been a while.
All right. Well, on that note, there's one other matter of business I think we should talk about before we get to final thoughts.
I think we have 2 missions left.
We do.
Uh-oh.
The first one, let's talk about our first Winnegar of the Boddicker.
Clarence Boddicker, you are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Fuck you.
Guns, 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 it's time to choose. Who stole the seat and lit the fuse? Bad, bold, or just deranged? The Boddicker Award brings the pain. Can you fly, Bobby? Not quite, but a winner, pure dynamite.
As we talked about in our grab bag episode number 10 of the podcast, from here on out, we are going to be choosing our favorite character to be the award named after our favorite character we've seen in the movie so far, Clarence Boddicker from RoboCop.
So we've named the award the Boddicker.
And so today we're going to be choosing the first recipient of the Boddicker. So each one of us are going to go around the table and we're going to say our favorite character from the movie, the character that we feel most embodies the awesomeness embodied by Clarence Boddicker.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. I think if you listen
I
to
said
the
embodied twice.
You did. Yeah.
But
that's all right.
Department of Redundancy Department.
So if I could go first,
You may.
first nomination of the Boddicker, I'm going to give it to Diane Weist as Helen. I think Helen kind of stole the show here, not just with her acting, but with the character as she was written. I think if you combine the two, she stole the show for me. I really resonated with her character, so I'm going to go with Diane Weist.
Okay, Justin, who's your favorite character?
Helen Buckman has my vote as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's 2.
I mean, she made the full arc, right? Like she started off kind of weak and meek, stayed consistent, fought, and just pulled probably the most dysfunctional of the families together by the end of it. And she was so strong and so just willing to adapt and grow herself to make her kids' lives better. I went with Helen Buckman.
We're gonna make this unanimous because I also had Helen Buckman.
Wow,
we don't agree on much.
No,
but not much at all.
And a lot of it does have to do with the arc, but I think it's because, again, as we've talked about throughout this movie, different characters. The more you get to know a character in this movie, the more you get to understand them more, the more you can actually like them. And Helen did, and her arc was not even arc; it was all over the dang place. So much, adversity, so much conflict, so much different things, so many things out of left field.
Oh, so much motion.
And she started off as a character who just felt kind of soft and weak and was kind of put down upon. But the more we got to know her, the more that we realized she is able-bodied, she is powerful, she is strong, she is smart, and to hell with Gary's dad.
Right, she did this all by herself.
She is a badass woman. Great actress, strong character, absolutely Boddicker material.
Yep, I totally agree.
Most definitely.
Bitches leave.
All right. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's go through and rattle off our final thoughts about this movie. And as part of this, we're also going to include our beer rating scale. And for those who might not have caught it from our previous grab bag episode, our beer rating scale is how many beers we feel it would take to get this movie to peak viewing pleasure.
And that scale is from 0 to 12.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, Justin, you want to kick things off with your final thoughts?
Sure. So I've watched this movie at just about every stage of my life. As a kid, as a teen, in my 20s, before and after having kids, in my 30s, and now in my 40s. And every single time, I enjoy this movie. I feel like this is a movie that grows with you. You enjoy the things as a kid when you watch it that kids should enjoy. And then as you grow, you enjoy the things that you should enjoy as you grow. So there is a little 80s cheese baked in, but it never gets in the way. The acting holds up across the board. Even the kids' performances are solid, which is pretty damn hard to come by. And there's nothing from a technical standpoint that pulls me out of the story. The film's tone nails the messy, beautiful chaos of parenting. I feel like it captures the highs and lows, the wins and losses, and that never-ending feeling of trying to hold it all together while raising kids and growing up yourself. And like I always say, I love a movie that ties itself up at the end, and this one does, in the perfectly imperfect way that Parenthood itself tends to go. So nostalgia aside, this one truly holds up for me. I could say that Parenthood requires 0 beers for optimal viewing pleasure, but I had 2 while watching it, so I'll call it a 2-beer movie, just to keep things honest.
Slow down, Justin. I'll get you some dip.
Brian, what you got?
Well, Parenthood reminds us that family life is basically one big, beautiful mess. Full of awkward moments, questionable decisions, and way too many school plays nobody really wants to attend. It's like a roller coaster that you didn't exactly sign up for, but you're stuck on anyway, screaming, laughing, even maybe crying a little. Whether it's Gil freaking out, Helen dealing with a teenager named Gary, or Larry somehow managing to cause more chaos just by showing up. This movie really captures what it feels like to be a parent. Or even a survivor of somebody else's parenting experiments. At the end of the day, Parenthood tells us there's no instruction manual for this gig. You'll mess up, you'll say the wrong thing, you'll forget the permission slip, but hey, as long as you're showing up, you're doing okay. So, cheers to all the exhausted, imperfect, slightly overwhelmed parents out there. Keep holding on, because the ride is wild. It's hilarious. It's frightening. It's totally worth it.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. Now, as far as my beer rating, I'm going to give her a 3.
Okay.
It's a 2-hour movie.
It is a long movie.
It doesn't seem that long when you watch it. Like I said, I thought it felt more like 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2 hours, I could slowly sip some beers and get through 3.
Yeah.
The one-liners are great in this movie. And I think if you have just a little bit of beer, you're gonna hear and you're gonna feel a little bit more real about what this movie's about. So that's my rating is a 3.
I don't know what we were thinking about.
Todd with 1D. Seth, what do you got for us?
Well, Parenthood is one of those movies that just sneaks up on you. On the surface, it's a late 80s family comedy with pratfalls, birthday party disasters, and Steve Martin wearing a cowboy hat. But when you really sit with it, what makes this movie work isn't the gags, it's the people. These characters are all well conceived, their conflicts feel lived in, and they're played so honestly that it never really feels like you're watching a caricature of a family. It feels like you're peeking into one.
Mm-hmm.
The acting across the board is solid.
Mm-hmm.
And the dynamic between all these different branches of the Buckman family holds everything together. There's a rhythm to the chaos. And honestly, it just works. Is it a perfect movie? No. Some of the humor is very late 80s. A couple of the subplots feel a little thin. And it definitely tries to convince you that Orlando is St. Louis. But those of us in St. Louis know you're fucking lying. But those are nitpicks. And at the end of the day, Parenthood does more or less hold up. It's heartfelt, it's funny, and it hits differently as an adult than it ever did as a kid. Which honestly is probably about the highest compliment you can give a movie that's about growing up. If I do have one gripe with Parenthood, and this is really minor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's Steve Martin. Don't get me wrong. He does what he does, and he does it very well. But Steve Martin is always Steve Martin. And this movie really leans into Steve Martin. And I feel like once you've seen him in one thing, you've kind of seen the whole toolbox. But luckily, this is such a true ensemble that his Steve Martin-ness gets balanced out by a lot of other really strong performances. And that mix is what makes Parenthood work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for beer score, for me, I got to say Parenthood is a solid 3 out of 12. It's funny. It's heartfelt. Occasionally, yes, there is probably a little bit too much Steve Martin. But at the end of the day, gosh, it's a really good watch. So 3 beers, and I will enjoy this all day long.
Nice.
I'm with you. And again, to go along with your thoughts, I thought this movie was supremely acted.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, from kids to everybody. Maybe not Steve Martin, but I thought, but I thought he did a good job. I liked him in it. He was a little slapsticky in parts, but up and down, this was a stacked cast.
Oh, it was,
and they showed out.
They sure did.
I mean, I can't think of any other movie, honestly, from the 80s that had this big and this stacked of a cast.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely all-star cast. There's definitely cast that had a lot of actors. You can even look at some of the John Hughes movies and some of the Brat Pack films from the 80s. And they had a lot of people who were names at the time. But we had a lot of people who were names at the time and are still names.
Right.
Right.
Still relevant people today. And that's just amazing.
Yeah, the staying power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of beer score, so our average score for Parenthood is a 2.66 beers.
That's
it's a peak viewing pleasure.
Does that make it our top beer?
It does
top
not.
movie?
It doesn't. Our
gets it
number
close.
one is RoboCop at 1.66. So we need a full one beer less to fully peak enjoy RoboCop. But it is 2/3 of a beer ahead of the third place film, Romancing the Stone, which is at 3.33.
Damn.
So
Okay.
it's up there.
Yeah, it's sitting in second place right now.
Can anyone knock off RoboCop?
Time will tell, my friend.
Time
will tell.
I think we can find something somewhere that will.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But that movie is out there, and it's our job here on the Regular Guy Movie Show.
It's a responsibility
to find it.
It's a tall task.
Yep.
But it's a task we are up to. But for now, we are going to call it a wrap on this episode of the Regular Guy Movie Show. We've dissected the family drama, but now it's your turn. What did you think about Parenthood? Let us know in the comments and add your 2 cents to the conversation. And if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. It'll help us more than you can possibly know. If you got a movie you want us to cover, head on over to regularguymovieshow.com and hit the Suggest a Movie link. Thanks for listening, and as always, be kind, rewind.
The Regular Guy Movie Show, talking flicks. Here we go!
What do you think the world record might be on a per day?
What's your world record?
Oh, I'm sure I'm no close to a world record, but probably like maybe 4, 5, maybe. You?
I hit 7 once.
Yeah?
Damn.
Yeah.
Was it like raw the next day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't touch it?
Oh, yeah. It was...
Holy cow.
It was, yeah, it was, yeah.
I had a friend in college, Warren, who said he was at 9 in a day.
9. Wow.
But I'm sure that's still not world record.
I feel like you have to plan that out.
I would think
Like
so. I
you
think
would have to like say, all right, like I'm going to get my schedule.
Yeah. And I would think you would, to go beyond that, I think you would even have to start thinking about your nutrition through the day. your fluid replenishment.
Oh, it's like a professional athlete here.
You probably have to take some nutrient supplements, some protein. You really have to be plotting
and
it
make
out.
sure you're hydrated.
Yeah, you got to stay hydrated.
Got to stay hydrated. 9.
Yeah.
Damn.
I thought 7 was good.
I'm right there in the 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Maybe 6 was pushing it, you know.
I remember the day I did 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was New Year's Eve.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like last Thursday.
No, I am. No, I can't pull out 7 anymore.
Oh, heck no.
I'm an old fart.
Heck no.